Right, we're back, guys. The stream's back. I'm loving this.
That's a classic.
Would you look at that? Rise of the Vincel. Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
He's a dangerous man. He'll choke you out without you saying a word.
Smoothie is the Rat King.
All but a joke. 'Twas harmless banter.
Are you kidding me?
What you made of my man?
Oh! Yay! Now the game's starting up. Now the game begins. The crusty
Player
boys.
association, please.
That's us, isn't it? I thought we were the fucking crusty boys.
Well, yeah, but I mean, some of our players are too, right? They've been burned enough that they're not young. Like Counter-Strike, like these Overwatch kids are signing their first ever contracts, right? A lot of them, so like they don't have any idea. Dad's looking at the contract, going, "Yeah, looks good. You're gonna get paid what to play a video game, son? Yeah, have a good time in LA. You know, hope it goes well.
Yeah, it's a hell of a culture change.
No Pepe emojis.
Yeah, stay off that Pepe.
Yeah. So yeah, I think 2020, 2021, I think you're going to see a lot of shifts in a lot of products, right? And again, I just hope I say I hope, but it's a wrong word to use because it's not going to happen. I wish Valve just cared a little bit more about our side of the game.
So easy for Ents, am I right?
I think the reason why
I've turned the Ents game off, mate. I can't be bothered. I may as well watch Renegades and Astralis.
they got around.
Oh, yeah, sick.
Oh, man.
I'm done. Fuck the pair of them. Fuck Big. Fuck Ents. Fuck him with my pick. Fuck him with my pick'ems like that. I had them both to go through.
My pick'ems.
Yeah, my motherfucking pick'ems. They're both gonna sell me down the river.
It's such a bummer too, because the Alou story of like going home, like Alessi going to see his kid and then coming back, like if they had this like monstrous victory run going, like that would be such a extra plus.
The thing is, Ents is a good team. I thought before they should be top 8 at this major.
I don't know what it is. I'm not putting it on Alou going back. And
No.
I'm not. I mean,
maybe
it is a factor, but I mean, like, they've just completely gone to shit this fucking stage.
No, I'm not saying it happening being a negative factor. I'm just saying if he would have won, it would have been a positive.
Oh yeah, it would have been a good story. But
what was I gonna say? I was about to talk about. You were saying Valve doesn't care about CS. Oh yeah,
I don't care about Pro CS.
The big thing that like is as soon as Valve gets a real competitor, that's when you might see something. When they get threatened, they start reacting. Unfortunately, is kind of how they do things a lot of time. I mean, you see like the Steam store and how they kind of, they started taking less of a cut. Now the Epic is doing exclusive deals with people and shit like that. So I think what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna need somebody else to kind of give them that push.
But I would think the closest push would have come from Call of Duty already in some weird way, or Rainbow Six, and it didn't happen. So
those games aren't even. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm like.
Those games are never gonna pull like
bright FPS that everybody always talks about.
I said Call of Duty. Call of Duty pulls more often than we do. So not PC, mind you, obviously. But
I meant pull people away from CS.
Yeah,
those games are never really gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know, but. I don't know what successful
Salty Sausage. If Steel was awake,
because no game is ever
he'd be on the stream.
This gameplay is 20 years old, gentlemen.
That's annoying.
No one's done it, so I don't know. That's why I'm saying Rainbow Six is the closest tactical kind of shooter. But again, it's different. Don't get me wrong, it's very different. But what magically, if it's not going to be something like that?
It would need to be something similar to Call of Duty, but a PC focus. Like a fast-paced 5-on-5 shooter type deal.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah.
Like I said, a COD-esque game, but for PC. Because COD's not going to do it because it's console focused, right?
Yeah, and the PC side is never the focus.
War Owl's coming on Friday.
It would be something like that.
We've already set
I'm just one of those. It hasn't happened yet, man. And we've been through all these different kind of real sim types. And yeah, certainly our gameplay is. I mean,
someone saying COD 4 Pro Mod didn't catch on. It did at its time.
Oh, like you ask it, it was Pro Mod was the form.
I mean, there was periods of time where it was comparable.
They would still play Pro Mod if they could. They would still play Pro Mod if they could. If you ask the pros.
So something like that coming back would be something that could maybe fight with Counter-Strike a little bit.
I just don't know if it would be popular enough as a game to then worry Valve enough as a Counter-Strike worry.
Yeah,
right? Like, it has to come out and be good.
Yeah.
And again, like this game is just, I mean, again, like Call of Duty has search and destroy. That is our game, right? Plant the bomb, defuse the bomb. Like that kind of is our game. And you die, you're out. That mode, at least, obviously they play different modes in their tournaments, which is weird. Not weird, but obviously different than us. So yeah, I don't know. Again, we're just this whole game type is just a weird lightning in a bottle, man.
Does anybody know anything about that Riot FPS that nobody actually knows what it's about except the Volcano probably works on it?
But there also was that rumor
I
that
know.
Activision Blizzard was working on bringing their COD engine to a PC shooter to have a game kind of. I don't know if it was meant to
Bro,
be
they
a
don't
Rainbow
even
Six
promote their
competitor
own
or a
on
CS
PC.
competitor.
I
but
doubt they'll ever do like a real PC shooter like that.
Yeah, and the weird thing with Call of Duty is we don't really know how it would stand up because they always give us new ones, right? Like if they gave us a Call of Duty and left it alone for 5 years, or like the games got updated, but like they didn't give us a new version, what would the numbers, the viewership, the playship be like 5 years into the same title?
I mean, essentially like
because every year they give us
like
they give us
pro mod
basically a new one.
essentially, but forever and like actually taking care of like Call of Duty 4 pro mod.
But I'm
and
just saying it'd be more of a comparison to our game, right? Our game
yeah,
has dropped,
100%.
it's had
Yeah.
updates, but like we don't get a new Counter-Strike every year or every
Yeah.
2 years. Which helps and hurts them, right? It resets them, it brings new, it pisses off old. But it's just it's a whole.
Yeah, it's how they work as
sport
like a
over there.
company too, because then you have like the reason they do that is because I think like overall they kind of look at like profit margins and shit like that, and they realize it's just kind of better to release another game and just collect the paycheck and then move on.
Yeah. Why isn't Gears of War
Because
esports
Valve
big
has
revenue?
different streams of revenue where they have the entire client itself, where they're getting a cut of everything that's on.
Yeah, right. That would change a company's like core perspectives, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not a game dev. They are a game dev company, but they make far more money
No,
on that
as I always
marketplace,
like to
right?
say,
Yeah.
they don't make games, they make money.
Yeah. They're a service platform,
Yeah.
right? And they make a
Yeah.
few games every couple of years.
So. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Being the realist, again, if I roll back to like 5-6 years ago, like our game was gone. So like, I'm just happy we have something again. It's popular and people get paid to play it, and people watch it, and people get talking about it. Like, again, this game was over, man. It was dying, man. Like, so like.
Oh no, I remember what was going on.
I remember when we were hoping that Pro Mod would succeed. That's where we were.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, man, he had a window and he just missed it, man. It was a cool thing. I actually helped him film some videos here at my house, and then it never got released about it. But it was too late, and then it was just too late. Oh well.
So now that Richard's gone,
I'm still
it's
here.
5 to 8.
He's still here.
No.
Oh, you mean change the stream? Yeah.
Yeah, they have actually. I think since you left, they haven't dropped around. Easy friends.
Good job, Rich. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries,
Richard was
dude.
bad
I'm
luck.
there.
The
And
Casper curse lives on.
Oh shit! As soon as I said it, Xantares gets the opening. All right, I'm shutting up.
fl0m. Yeah, thanks.
sorry,
I'll keep you guys updated.
Sorry if you guys aren't getting sound on the stream. Just had to alt tab and ban a few fucking morons. That time of the day, I guess. They've started slithering out from the moron hole.
I don't know why Gears of War isn't bigger. I mean, you have to have a big player. Like any popular esport has to start with a
Hard
big
to
player
spectate,
base,
man.
really. And in Gears of War, why it's a niche hardcore game, like there is a community there, I don't think the community itself is big enough to properly like support. It's like owning a restaurant. Your regulars of a restaurant is what supports you through the bad times, right? And I don't think they have
new
enough
rule, guy.
regulars.
If you keep spamming me about guests, stream off, and I'll continue talking to my friends off stream. Your call, guys.
Oh Jesus!
I cannot physically drag people out of fucking bed. You fucking morons. Right? So spamming me to get fucking people on a stream when they're not even awake. Like, think about what you're fucking doing. Fucking cretins. Fuck me. Sorry, continue, guys.
No,
Carry on.
I like what you were saying better.
Yeah, you had a good little moment there. That was good. Love
Wait.
entitlement.
Where were we at again? Also, as soon as I said that, Big won around and lost around.
Yeah, get out.
Not
You guys
so
go
easy.
watch that Astralis Renegades game. I'll keep you updated on Big Ants and we'll
I
ride
don't know
this
anything
big
about.
one.
I don't know anything about auto chess, Robert. Sorry. So I mean, I haven't even watched any streams. I just know a lot of people are playing it and are addicted to it. So I don't.
And I think Tencent's coming out with
Can't
their
answer
own
that.
version now instantly already. Typical Tencent.
Although I saw a story that Riot was, or not Riot, Valve was in discussions to buy the mod team or whatever that made it, because it's not it's a mod, but I don't really know much about it or if that's even accurate. But that's what Valve used to do. Is
It makes sense.
buy
It's
mod
such a
makers.
cool idea, man. I mean, yeah, that's like at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. That's why it also kind of irks me about Counter Strike is
Like Kira,
like-
what did I just say? I don't give a fuck that you're a sub. You're not gonna be unbanned, homie. Sorry, that was fucking dumb. And any others?
Hey, oh. Because I think that's what they're. I don't know. Like the game itself is just like it's sick, man. I don't know. Like I wish Counter Strike had the mod community still, because I feel like they really killed it in Go. Like all the community servers that were just like popping in Source, especially and in 1.6, like with the different mods, they still exist in Go, but they're just not nearly as good.
Yeah,
They don't have as many tools as they used to.
sure. I'm with you
I
on
think that was like actually a big part of Counter Strike. I remember when I was
It's a
playing.
big part of Half-Life.
Yeah,
the mod
just in
scene.
general,
I mean,
like,
you're
yeah,
talking
like-
about mods on the game, but like Counter Strike's a mod of Half-Life, right? So like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
everything
then
is like
mods of mods.
Yeah.
yeah.
and it's just I don't know. I just remember I'd play Counter Strike, I'd play with my team, I'd play some matches, and then I'd go sit in a zombie escape server for like 4 fucking hours, literally as a zombie myself, and just fucking
Yeah.
zone out and play. And I don't have that anymore.
I mean, our thing was VIP, right? We would just go play VIP for hours, man.
VIP,
Fucking-
dude, Pokemon mod, like yeah, everything.
Love.
That's
fucking
why I wish like
Assassin's
Valve
mode.
with their like matchmaking system and stuff. I wish they did have a way to get people to those third party mods a little bit easier than just having to do a community browser list. Like having a zombie mod button that you click that randomly puts you in a zombie mod third party. So you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, sure.
I think a lot of people don't even. I mean, they probably would know about the stuff if they're a hardcore CS fan. They've actually messed around with the community browser, but especially to that new audience that came in with free to play, I think it would have been great for them to. Cause they did it with Flying Scoutsman, right? Like that was kind of them officializing Scout Knives mod. And I'm not saying you should make an official version that kind of puts the modder out of their
Yeah, you gotta be
server
careful
and
with
their
that.
traffic, but
Yeah, you're
just
more of
get-
talking about a filter system to like
yes,
actually
get
show
people
off the work.
to get
Yeah.
people to those servers, right?
That makes sense.
So I really wish they would do something like that.
Yeah, that's right, Vriv. I'm the entitled one, not the fucking retard sat in chat spamming me, telling me what I need to do on my broadcast. Get the fuck out my industry.
Yeah, I'm so glad that that's lived on years later, man. So awesome.
Thanks for the sub there, Noto, as well. Appreciate it, buddy.
Get out of my fucking industry. I think Astralis is going to win this major. I'm going to go on a limb. I know it's a risky pick.
I said it was liquids the other day, so I'm
I
going to
think
stick with it, dude.
Astralis is going to win this whole goddamn thing, man.
What's that?
I just think Astralis is going to win another one.
It's hard to objectively think of another team that
Yeah,
would
I know
win
it's
instead
an
of them.
easy- Yeah,
It's very
I just
difficult.
don't see anyone fucking beating them enough.
It'd be different if Astralis was like showing some signs of weakness
That's what
or
I'm
something,
saying,
but
right?
there's just
Like,
nothing there.
At least right now. Yeah, nothing there.
Well, it almost looks like the iBuyPower thing like really irked them. Like they lost to Liquid, and I think they just had they hated the tournament too, that they were just super
Yeah.
like fuck
But
this, we're gonna
hasn't-
destroy everybody.
I think I don't know if this is if 100%.
How was that tournament, Dust? That was fun, right? Good times?
So yeah, going back to Astralis.
You hit up the club afterwards? Did you hit up the club? I heard it was sick. You get free entry? Just sit
Let
in
me
the
just
back,
say
right?
this: I get hella unlucky with events sometimes.
Did you get a
man. I have
bottle in
to
the
say
VIP room for free at least, man? Did your desk
No.
turn into well, you were in the VIP room at your little desk there, your little lounge.
that. Yeah, we had like a little booth instead of a desk. Yeah, it's
yeah,
good
the
times.
booth, the red leather booth or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah,
You
we
were
have the
sitting in.
teams, we have the money, but we don't have the venue. Fuck.
That was really the core
How
issue of that
in
event.
the
Yeah.
fuck, man, like that.
But what I was going to say, we can keep down this rabbit hole. But what I was going to say
Yeah,
was, I
yeah.
don't think Astralis has lost 2 events in a row in like the last 15 events or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, they.
Yeah, whenever they go out on one, they just always come back. It's like, oh, maybe this is it. Astralis is showing. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. It's like literally brutal, too, when they come back the second time. I feel like they just. that's when they go on those runs where they never even drop a map. You know, we've seen that a couple times where it's like, oh, Astralis played all the way to the finals and didn't lose a single time. It's like you fucking poke the bear and they just turn up even more.
Well,
All right.
you know, with the death in the family, right? That can kind of affect a person. You know, we see it in traditional sports. If an athlete rolls into a tournament on the heels of a tragedy and he dedicates it to a family member, they often will kick the living shit out of everybody, or they'll bomb out, right? Like it can affect your mindset one way or the other. But you know, so far this team has rallied around him, and like they've dedicated this major to his dad. Like this, and they're already a super fucking well organized, don't get tilted team, right? So if they now have this
$10, Carl.
if they have this like another goal, because in their minds they're all mates, they're all buds, right? They've been through fucking fire. Them doing this for his dad might actually be more important in their minds right now than actually winning it as a major, right? In the sense of like Counter-Strike, right? Like, so that could propel them, right? And again, I don't know if it's gonna like hold true, but like that can set you on a path of like playing. It's like when you fucking are in a car accident and you can lift a car off your fucking self, right? These extra human things happen when you deal with these. Now I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm blowing smoke maybe, but like yesterday's 16-0, yeah, it was Cloud9, but holy fuck, man. Like they ain't giving Renegades any room either.
Get the fuck out of my industry.
Right?
I mean, the thing is,
the fuck out of my server, man. For sure.
I mean, also at the Astralis, even if Dupree is a bit off due to the whole situation, there's 4 other amazing players in that team that can pick up the slack. So
yeah, I think it's going to motivate him. It's as tragic as it is, because it often happens, right? These things motivate. And this team is already so fucking solid, man, in the sense of like mental capacity and not getting tilted and resetting with their psychologists and all the stuff they deal with. Like it's just, I don't know. We'll see. Like they might not lose a map, right? They might not anyway. Even if his dad was still alive, they might not lose a map. It's Astralis, but you know what I mean. So we'll see. But I just have a vision of him on stage going, we dedicated this to my dad, and he's holding the fucking trophy, right? Like it's just like that's what happens in sports,
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Don't mean to make chat cry. Sorry, man. It's too early. I know. Sorry.
What do you think FaZe has to do, man?
I think FaZe
Get
has
an
to do-
in-game leader.
Yeah, that would be a good start.
What do you mean? Making your star player the IGL is a great idea.
Basically at this stage, the way you fix FaZe is you lure Nico into a room, and you're like, "Hey, Nico, there's a free party in here going on with booze and girls and everything." And he goes in.
Yanko's here.
And he gets in. Yeah, Yanko's here to see you. And he gets in, and it's just a bunch of doctors in white coats and a table. And he goes, "What's all this?" "Nothing, Nico. Nothing, Nico. Does this rag smell of chloroform to you?" And he goes, "Oh." And they put him on the table, and then they cut out the ego part of his brain. They just completely remove it just with a lobotomy, and he comes back and he goes, "I am Nico," and he can do headshots and everything else, but he doesn't have the ego to think he's actually an in-game leader, which he'll never be, of course, because he doesn't have the capacity for that. And then when they ask him, "Hey, could we get an in-game leader now?" he goes, "Yes, why wouldn't we? Nico make headshots, nothing else." Kind of like Francis Farmer, if people are down with that fucking reference.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw that story going completely different direction, and I'm glad that it went the direction that you took it instead.
Well, you get the direction that you thought it was going in. You find those kind of things on Craigslist. So.
Oh,
It's the daily
Why
one.
do I even try?
I don't
Why
know.
do I even try?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm
I try
there,
to
man.
poke one joke in, just
No, it's
one.
good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, but this is the thing.
Immediate
What you
You
have
gotta
to
keep
understand-
trying.
I'm doing you the favor here.
Get
because
back on the horse.
Eventually, that'll become so fucking played out, it will hold no power anymore.
It was already
have to-
played out. No one was
we have to
talking
kill
about
it.
it until you brought it up.
That's not played out. Not talking about it
Back
isn't
on the
played
horse.
out. Played
Back
out
on
is when everyone. It's like choking jokes about me now. People just don't even bother. Like, you know what I mean? It's just done.
The Breitbart one lives on though.
Oh, well, I mean, only because of the fucking insane political landscape within which we live. I think in 5 years that's done, right?
I'll be honest, Richard. I thought Thorin got you banned yesterday. I turned on my stream. I didn't see you guys live on the major anymore. And somebody goes, "fl0m, after you left, shit got wild, and you dodged a bullet." And I was just like, "Why isn't Richard live?"
No,
I was
no,
like, what
no.
did Thorin
no.
say?
No. Thorin, yeah, Thorin. I didn't say anything that bad. I don't think. Like, me and
Nah,
Gus were
it
talking
wasn't.
about it. It wasn't ban-worthy for sure. It's just classic Duncan.
There's a couple
Oh,
places
yes.
where he got close
Duncan
to the line.
just
That's really
tweeted that
Thorin's
he's-
career in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Duncan
exactly.
tweeted he's jumping on soon enough. Oh god, I gotta go.
G-Finity's
I don't want to lose.
Reunited.
I have no job to lose. He can come on. Come on, buddy. Let's do
So
this.
Scoots, when are you just gonna fuck over all the players like in my dream?
What's the end game here?
Yeah, what's the end
It's just
game,
you and me,
Scott?
Scoots. Let's talk about it. Well, Paul, we were doing Paul or Thorin. I don't know who were we doing on that.
I don't know. Yeah, my red.
I'll tell you about that. Two house
Well,
wrecked.
Welcome to the Malaysia Association. Damage. Right. There you go.
Do you think that when Paul floated the idea of two hosts and Machine agreed with it, that Machine thought that two hosts meant that when he wasn't hosting, he'd be casting and he really wouldn't get a break anyway?
I don't know, man. You know where I stand on Machine, dude. It's sad.
I thought you guys were all mates.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know,
I just meant in general. Like, because they have two hosts, but the hosts, when they're not hosting, are casting now. So it's not really the break that they all wanted. But this event, I know Paul's not there. I know. Maybe.
Yeah, bless him. I might get, you know, I'll have to reach out to Red Eye and see if he wants to come on the stream.
Actually, Paul is there because
honestly.
I think he's doing Dota. Isn't Paul
Oh, is he?
Because there's a Dota tournament happening too, isn't there?
All right.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a Dota tournament happening in the main. They do Dota one weekend, and then we move in the next weekend, I think.
Ah,
to
interesting.
The arena in Katowice, because
Oh, that's right.
because this venue is the convention center attachment to the arena, which is the stage they're playing on right now.
Yeah, Stunner said he was going to come on as well when he had some time off. I don't even know.
That'd be great.
Yeah, what that schedule looks like.
I mean, having Vince on last night after his like 55
Yeah, he
hours
was
hilarious.
absolutely
He was
exhausted.
just wrecked in here,
Yeah.
dude.
Fuck, just spent all day talking. Let me get on with these fucks. Like,
Like
what
he
are you
came in,
thinking?
he gave me 2 good burns and then left. That was it. And it was over.
He had to pay homage to the Vincels, right? You know, so that was funny though. I'm like, bless your heart, bro. I would not be anywhere near. If I was on site.
Yeah, Vince is a good lad because obviously when he announced his retirement, which he totally didn't do, although he acknowledged it in a tweet last night, which I thought was really cool. He said, "I think I nearly left this all behind." So now it is official on the record. Yeah, I think he was trying to walk it back a little bit and go, "I never fucking said I retired, like." You know, he's trying to do that. You
He
know.
didn't.
Yeah. I never fucking said that, like. I said I said I was fucking thinking about it, like. You fucking about, yeah, like that. Yeah.
Your version is
Indefinite, man.
I was gonna say I
Indefinite.
love his voice of
Your
Vince
version of
more
Vince.
than I like. It's,
No
it's
offense,
pretty
Vince.
solid.
Can you imagine if there was actually a fucking caster like that? It'd be so fucking unreal. He's got in a fucking catwalk and he's got fucking up here, man. It's fucking fire everywhere and that, like. It's fucking mental, man. Yeah, you'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? But anyway.
So Ents lost, by the way.
Yeah,
That map.
Yeah,
in more ways than one.
easy friends.
Yeah, but it's
Those
supposed to
Dust 2, their best map.
Easy friends.
But anyway, so fucking Vince was like, we helped him with his stream on because it was kind of around about the time of the No Majors Club when he said he was going into streaming.
Yep.
So that's when we started the Vincel meme, the rise of the Vincels, and like he had a good spike in subs and stuff. And obviously I've always hosted him and everything. So Vince is a good loyal lad. He's always going to be part of the No Majors Club, even when he's at a fucking major, you know.
No, that was awesome of him to stop by.
Yeah, that's kind of off-brand, actually.
It
You
is.
shouldn't
It
be
is.
let in here.
It is. You're right. Maybe.
out.
Yeah. Maybe we put up a sign. No Vincels.
He like tries to come in and we just like lock him out. Like no.
I mean, it's nice he comes back to the little people that made him, you know, once in a while.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Now that he's a big deal.
Now it's big time, yeah.
Actually,
Also,
Staticus,
Staticus, I have to give I think the moment of the stream yesterday, and there are probably many that I missed. My moment of the stream was when Staticus rolled in after his shift, and Dust was talking about saying the R word.
Yep.
And just out of the blue, Sato chimes in chat. Not the worst word you could say on air, you know? It's like, self-zing. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
He hadn't said a word in chat, I don't think, until
Yeah,
that
like,
moment, and then he
All of a
just
sudden, out of the blue.
fit it in there. That was a good one. It was a
Not
good
the
laugh.
worst thing you could say. Can't make
True.
fun of yourself, man. You can't make fun of everybody else.
As Sean Gares pointed out, this is Astralis' worst map of Mirage with an 83% win rate.
It's not their worst map.
Oh, don't do this, fl0m. Dust has
I don't
his
know.
fucking. He's
Yeah.
like the tax man.
what
Dust
Sean
has
said.
He's
a.
like
I'm just-
fucking
I'm
data.
just quoting what Sean said.
Tell us, Dust. Give us the correct number.
I do not
Cash.
understand these emotions. I'm off
Please.
to go on Craigslist now,
Please
Picard.
stand by. Welcome back to I Buy Power Masters.
What is this orgy of which?
Oh, okay. Nah.
Oh, banter. Love it. Love Star
I
Trek.
love it. I love
Oh, whoa.
All
What the
just
fuck?
banter. Wait.
Holy shit, $500, dog? That's fucking crazy, man. You sure you can afford that? Half DVK. That's fucking crazy, dude. It's like the biggest donation ever on the channel, I think, man. Let me check that out and see what you're about. I really appreciate it.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, but remember, it's going to a good cause. But I like to check in with big donators and make sure they can afford it. Unlike some unethical streamers out there. But that's really cool, man. Thanks a fucking bunch.
Yeah.
Well, Richard,
fucking
they wouldn't have
unethical
given it
streamers.
to you if they couldn't afford it.
I know, right? The old fucking lie. Oh God.
It is always so. It's so unfortunate that that's like so common that it's like
I
hard
know.
to be genuinely like. It's.
I mean, do you get a lot of chargebacks and bullshit, Flo?
No, but when stuff like what just happened to Richard happens, at least for me, and I think it falls in line with a lot of streamers. It's if it's somebody you don't recognize or not like a regular, it's just really hard not to just kind of immediately, because when they are the bigger ones, that's like the more likely time for it to happen.
Yeah, no one's gonna like give you $5 and then charge you back. But yeah. no,
Yeah,
listen,
well,
gotcha.
that does actually happen.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
But
Sorry to hear that. Then
no,
yeah.
like usually
It's
it's
a waste
more
of time.
like somebody like just sends an obscene amount of money and then you're just like fuck, and then you want to be genuine, you want to thank the person, but you're also in the dilemma of you're like, well, I have no idea why this person gave this to me. They just showed up out of the blue, and now this is like kind of sketch because now for 2 months they have the ability to charge us back, and you're just fucked.
Yeah.
See, I
you
don't
wanna-
worry about the chargeback so much. I mean, I know it. I guess if it's different for the bigger streamers. I'm not a regular streamer.
Depends on how they send it.
What I'm always worried about is like this idea that, like I don't know, and again, this doesn't apply to your generosity, DVK.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take any knock on that person. either.
But it's like what I'm always worried about is, is this how old is this dude? What if this dude is having a rough time in their lives and
Sure.
what they're trying to do is try and get that, because we all do it, like there's no such thing as genuine altruism. You do something good to feel something for yourself, right? And some people do that, and then they get a little bit of attention, a little bit of love in the chat, and then they like it, so then they do it again, and then they do it again. Or is it a kid with their mother's credit card, and then that, so whenever I see big amounts of money, my instinct is always to check and just make sure. Like I like to know where the money's coming from, because I couldn't live with myself if I took money from somebody that couldn't afford it, because I can afford it. I don't need the money, So yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but have you had any of these conversations where they went, "Oh, you're fucking right, bro. Like that was stupid of me," or are they all pretty much like, "No, dude, it's all good. Got a great job. Love your work." Like, have you run into what you're trying to avoid in the sense of like helping a kid out? Like, has that happened? Like someone made a mistake and realized it in your conversation with you?
No, but like for example, if like when I've done my like late night streams for the games or whatever. Sometimes people will come in and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, I'm so high or so drunk right now," or whatever, and they'll be donating, and they'll do lots of donations over the course of an evening. I generally tend to reach out to those people the next day, or tell them to reach out to me, because we've all done a drunk purchase at fucking crazy o'clock when we're fucked up, and it's like, "Oh, hey, this
Buyer's
fucking
remorse,
electronic cheese grater seems like a good purchase right now," and maybe donating to Richard's fucking clown ass seems like a good Seems like
I thought
a
I
good
gave you
purchase.
$5 and I gave you $500. Fuck my life.
Yeah,
Zeros.
yeah.
Fat fingered it or something. Yeah.
So I always go back to them, because obviously I can send it back to them via PayPal, right? So
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. It also probably, and I have, you could answer if this is also part of your thought process, but if you make contact with the big donors and they talk to you and they explain and you have a dialogue and they're they're confirming that they
Mm.
are down to give you the money. If they were then to try to be dicks to you later, you have a little bit more backup of this person saying it wasn't a mistake, it wasn't unintentional,
Sure.
it wasn't a stolen card.
And there's a little thing as well which can definitely creep in. This is a minor thing; it's never really happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other streamers where like regular donators start to think they're entitled to something more than maybe they are for the amount of money they've given, and they place an expectation on the streamer and the personality. It's like, oh hey, I gave you X amount of money, and now you won't play a game with me. And it's like, listen, I appreciate, I appreciate the support.
Wait, not
Like,
everyone sends nudes after $100 dough?
Yeah.
I was doing it
And-
wrong
and-
the whole goddamn time.
I always explain it to people, like even the patrons on By the Numbers, like what you're paying for is effectively the content, and it's a gesture. It's not, you don't get on the Richard Lewis editorial board where you get to dictate what kind of content and shit I create. So I'm always very forthright about that. And again, if someone's unhappy with that, if they didn't realize that wasn't the deal, I'll just refund them. I'd rather they had the money back than them believing they get to control me for giving me the money. I think that's, we just sever the tie,
Well, also, like, it's better overall, like, for your standing with PayPal. That's why I always tell somebody, like, if this is, like, I have no problem, like, if you ever just, like, contact me, basically sending it back, because, like, if somebody charges you back, it's, like, a worse look. Like, once they start the chargeback process, you kind of have to fight it. You're in that position where if you just keep refunding everybody every time they issue one, PayPal takes a look and they're like, well, this isn't good. And so yeah, I've done it a couple times with like some larger ones. I had like somebody basically use the wrong, like he meant to send the money, but he sent it from the wrong card, like that kind of stuff. So there's stuff like that all the time.
But generally, I'm cognizant of the fact that, while I have a slightly older audience than probably the average streamer, a lot of the guys that message me are all like, the recurring email and fan mail I get is that, they work a job, and they listen to my stuff on their iPod or whatever. Cheers for the $10 donation again. And Naraon, I can never say your name, Na-Oan Talks. But so I don't check like $10 here, $20.
Yeah,
there,
yeah, no, I understand the big ones. Yeah.
But when you get a big one in, like we had a guy called Big Hungry, who's like one of my oldest subs on the chat, and he was donating quite a lot. I mean, Big Hungry is probably in, like, he's given me like thousands of dollars down the years, and I made a point of getting to know who he was. I like reached out to him privately. And we talk, just occasionally. Like he sent me a message at Christmas, I sent him one back, and he was working in like a car assembly line, and was making a lot of money, but doing this really grindy, tedious job. And so basically, it was my content was on his iPod or his phone or whatever, and he was like listening to me all day while he was assembling cars. And it's one of those jobs that's like highly paid, but really boring and fucking grindy and tedious to do.
Yeah.
And once I realized his income was good, I mean, like, shit, man, he was like out in Japan for Christmas. He went and did the KFC thing, like we talked about.
Yep.
And, but I keep in touch with those guys, and I think he's going back to school now to get a new qualification. So he said, he was like, he was super apologetic, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to donate for a while. I'm like, I give a fuck, man. Like, just take that money and go get your life in order and do what you want to do. You already did way
a
more
different
than
streamer
enough.
might be like, oh well, okay. I hope you come back soon though. Like, don't forget about me. Where's my money? Remember Mortar 2K? He was dropping money for a while.
I've got an unpopular opinion on him. Fucking me and Mo have gone back and forth on this on the stream a few times. But I always thought Motar wasn't donating to do something good. He was more often than not just donating so he got some attention on himself. I kind of felt he used other streamers' platforms to get eyeballs on himself. And I hate the pathetic way that everyone like just licks his ass as if he's some great guy just because they're hoping to get a share of the money. Like, fuck that.
For sure.
Like, fuck that.
Never gave me any, man. So
yeah. Well, it ain't even that. Like, I said, I just thought he was a bit of an attention whore. It's like, you donate to Pasha, one of the highest paid players in the game, with an already successful stream while he's at the top of the CSGO streaming thing, and we'll throw him $10,000. I wonder why you're doing it.
Wait, who's the guy that who's that story you're talking about? What's the name of that guy?
Motar 2K MO.
No. The guy that has the good job that gives you money. And...
Oh, Big Hungry.
Oh, Big Hungry. Okay, because
Yeah.
someone said Jerky in your chat. And I
Yeah,
was thinking
well,
That's
Jerky
another
Minions.
guy that's a big.
Yeah, Jerky's
big
Minions.
Jerky's Minions, another guy that I've known a
super
while.
fan.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
me
but I
too.
mean, crazy story about him was he was a guy who he used to hate my ass. He fucking, you know, I think he used to like send abusive messages to me on Twitter, and I'd get into it back with him. I might even have had him blocked for a while, and then we met in an event, and he did that classic thing of coming over and being like, "Hey, I'm the guy on Twitter," and I was like, "Oh, really, motherfucker? All right, then let's sit down." And we got into it and had a talk, and we ended up having a beer, and we were just like, you know,
He's a good dude.
yeah, and now he supports like all my shit. You know, he's the highest patron on By the Numbers. So, and
Yeah,
again,
he supports a lot of people in esports. He goes to some of the events when he can. Again, got
Yeah,
a good
he's-
job, grinds it.
yeah,
and,
He's like the
yeah.
definition of a patron of esports content.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
totally,
yeah,
totally.
No doubt, man.
and that's what I mean.
Like, I
though,
think he still subs to me. Like, I haven't streamed in a year, and he's like one of my 22, right? It's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, I give no content, right? But it's
I called him
Same
Jerky
thing.
You are
Simon
content,
for
Steve.
years
You
as
just
well.
are content.
I literally, for some reason in my brain, it was all I must have like very mild dyslexia. I used to call him Jerky Simon for like
Yeah.
2 fucking
Oh my
Jerky's
years.
Minions, right? Jerky's Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nice guy.
Yeah, but yeah, cool dude. And again, it's nice to be able to, you know, again, it's almost like a different time, isn't it, where you could have differences with somebody and then make up and be friends. You know, it kind of feels like that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it probably depends on the why you're not friends anymore. the,
True.
but there's too many bullshit reasons now. I think is your point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The line has been drawn so far away from where it used to be that it's.
Sorry, can't associate with you. It turns out that you read an article by a publication that I don't approve of once. You know, yeah, we really have created a lot of fucking.
Well,
reasons.
yesterday I got the whole "I thought better of you, I had more respect for you" thing from a guy because he thought in our slamming of that stupid idiot who was literally lying about Duncan and what happened in Poland that I was defending Duncan's actions, and I'm like, go ahead and like tell me in my tweets where I defend. It's just I'm saying she's lying about him being banned from Poland.
Yeah,
How is
which
that
she was,
defending what he said or
and then
did?
immediately
Like-
moved the goalposts and being like, well, no, I
Yeah.
said he was fired by ESL, which of course wasn't true. First of all, he was never employed by ESL. He was being
All
contracted
over the
to
place,
ESL. And he was still paid for that event because they left it so late to remove him from the broadcast. He was even in Poland as it was all happening because I remember meeting up with him at that event. And then it's
Yeah.
like, and then she changes it again. And it's like, guys, like, you know, listen, whatever happened to, okay, I was wrong.
That's what I kept saying to him. I'm like, can you just admit?
Whatever happened to that?
Why do
No,
you keep
double
like,
down. Double down.
Yeah, and then tripled, and then you know, and like you like, it's like what? are you
Bet the
doing?
house.
Like,
Bet the house.
It's like just
Get the
either
mortgage.
shut up. You can either admit you're wrong or just stop tweeting. Like you don't have to admit you're wrong, but you can certainly stop. Like being in an argument you're losing. Like that's.
Yeah, it's like that's what I hate most of all about like these dumb motherfuckers on social media. They say something that's false, you prove it false. They come back and say another thing, you prove that false. Then they go and they keep just shifting. There's never a point where they think to themselves, "I should stop," and then it just always degenerates into some like, you know, haha, what are you gonna do? Choke me out? It's like, all right, yeah, you're out
Yeah.
of you're out of shit, aren't you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Exactly. Well, why do you have to swear at me? I think she said that to you too.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Maybe he does.
Yeah,
Maybe he actually does.
What's this rule like as well? Like swearing some professional if I do it outside of work. Is that where we're at right now? Like the whole argument was about fucking Sponge being unprofessional. He appeared on a podcast. You know, nothing to do with the broadcast. It wasn't there in an official capacity representing ESL. He was representing nobody but Chad Burchill himself. And you were upset because he said fuck a few times. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Plus,
Like,
he's
what is
Australian.
this?
It doesn't even sound that aggressive, to be honest. Like, Australians say a bunch of, like, you know, we'll just say raunchy shit, I guess, but not really. You know what I
You're
mean?
allowed-
But, like,
you-
they
you
just
can
have a different
swear,
vocabulary.
you can-
They just have a different vocabulary, like, quite literally, where anything they say just never even sounds threatening. Like, when they.
I'm surprised he didn't use the, you know, I can say it. We're allowed to swear on Twitch. Like, I'm surprised he didn't use the cunt word, right? Because that's a very Aussie.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I thought it's an Aussie. He did incredibly well not to call them
Yeah,
cunts.
and again, now as a Now, would I say, okay, Chad, wow, you went off, maybe don't do that, like just for your own life, for your own, like if you want to be that guy and piss off the Cloud9 fans, go for it, say whatever you want, but there is a repercussion there. Now, is the repercussion from ESL? No. To your point, no. He said it on a HLTV. But if people are now disliking Sponge because they're fans, they thought it was unprofessional. Well, but he's allowed to still do it, right? But there's repercussions to those things. Like,
Oh,
if
of
you
course.
want to be,
That's their
you know,
right, for sure.
But the repercussion is not ESL firing him or someone not hiring him, right? It might just be people like that are fans of COD.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it?
You know, but like
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, imagine being so fucking like, again, it's like almost like a form of self-loathing. Thanks for the sub there, Gomezio. 10 months coming up on the year. Appreciate it. It's almost like a form of self-loathing. Like, it's not enough that you withdraw your support, your patronage. You have to you have to co-opt other people to do it. It's not enough that you say, right, well, I didn't like what Sponge did, so I'm not going to support Sponge anymore. And you just get on about your fucking day and do whatever fucking mad shit you do to occupy your clearly broken brain. It's not enough for you. Oh, we have to get him fired by ESL. Why? On what basis? Well, I don't support what he did, so I don't think ESL should. On what basis? Why do ESL's values have to align with yours? It's so fucking dumb. And like I say, it's like you hate yourself. You must hate yourself to do stuff like this. Because what you're saying is it's not enough. It's not enough that I do it. That's not big enough. I don't matter enough. I have to co-opt this company. I have to co-opt, his employers, his team, all of that. Like, it's like, fuck me, get a grip. Like,
Or it's like, it's not enough to not like someone's content and ignore it. You must then form a group to meticulously hate, downvote their stuff so that no one else can see it.
oh yeah, I'm sure. Like, Chad clips aren't going to be on the front page of Reddit for a while because a group of little fucking incels with nothing better to do are all going to sit there in new queue and it's Sponge, fuck Sponge, and just downvote it. Like, I get it. Duncan gets it. It's like, fuck me, guys. Like, don't you realize, like, what you are when you do stuff like that? Don't you realize how fucking pathetic it is? And they don't. They actually think they're doing God's work. They think in their mind as they do it, this is making the world a better place. It's not a better place because you're still in it, you fucking pathetic cunts.
Yeah, is there something to be said that, like, Chad shouldn't get triggered by Twitch chat? Like, come on, Chad. Like, is there something to be said for that? Like, he reacted to a guy in Twitch chat now. And so, should he just not let that happen? Maybe.
Yeah,
you
maybe.
know?
Maybe.
But
I
again,
think Chad knew exactly what he was doing when he went
Yeah,
after that.
but I
person
think it's
with
on
that.
brand for Chad. Like, haven't we
That's
all?
what I'm saying.
totally.
Like,
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but again, like, he controls what he did. Now, if he did that exact same diatribe and he did it on an ESL desk talking to Stunna about the matchup that's about to happen,
Exactly.
that is judged in a different way.
If he literally said
But he didn't.
Yeah, if he literally had turned around on the ESL desk and gone, oh, and here's why we're fucking not sleeping on Cloud9, eh, you little fucks. Like, and he teed off, haven't you got eyes from your mother's vagina, or whatever the fuck he said. I don't know why he's Dick Van Dyke, but my Aussie accent's never been the best. I'd have been like, yeah, that's really unprofessional. I'd have been the first to call him out. I'd have gone, you lost your cool, man. That's really bad. I'd have even said, hey, if ESL decided not to use him for the rest of the show, that is a bed you fucking made and you got a lie in it. But what, like, I can't go on a fucking podcast just being myself? I like,
No, I'm with you.
yeah, that's where it becomes ridiculous.
I'm with you.
Well, I think he's more of a guest too. Like, he's been more of a regular, but he's not necessarily
He's
even
not.
like.
Yeah, he's not even affiliated with the podcast. He's a recurring guest. And again,
Yeah.
if HLTV are like, don't want you
Yeah,
going off
get
the
him
Twitch
off of
chat
there.
because we're trying to grow that brand, and we don't invite him back. Again, I support HLTV's right to do that. I think that might be a little bit extreme, and I think Chad adds a lot of value to their product when
I
he's
don't
on the show, and I
No,
don't think they'll
Chad
do
makes
it.
that podcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
their forums can't be like their forums and then be worried about chat.
Right, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
those two don't. And no offense, like, I'm not saying they should moderate the forums. I'm just saying, like,
HLTV forums are the pinnacle of just peak humanity.
yeah.
Yo,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that. I don't think Half-Life TV gives a fuck about what Chad said, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I
The
learned a
viewers
long time
or
ago
the
to never
management.
even open
the
that
best
shit anymore.
threads. The best threads on HLTV are always the ones about, like, philosophy, the meaning of life, politics. Like, I always like that. It'll spring up every 3 to 6 months. There'll always be a thread like, what you think happen when you die? And it's like you just go straight. I am glued to this all fucking day. I am not opening another page on the internet. I am F5 in this motherfucker all day. And the idiots just come in and give their views, man. It's fucking brilliant. Love that shit.
Yeah. And again, he negatively reacted to negative chat. Like the guy called them fucks and shit. Like he was the guy was an asshole.
You dumb
right?
fucks.
He didn't just say why you sleeping on C9. So yeah, you know. But again, getting provoked by Twitch chat, we all do.
There's a way to ask things,
we all
isn't there? You know, there's a way to ask the question.
I mean, some of us defend ourselves. You do, I do, lots of us do, and Twitter, and Chad does. Like he does. Like if someone says something to him, an unknown, a random, whoever on Twitter, he would also respond and not give a fuck, right? In the sense of maybe his tone or his verbiage. Like, Chad's gonna be Chad. Bless his little heart, you know. And then some people don't. Some people just let it go. Like we don't. Like you get a lot of shit. Duncan gets a lot of shit about not letting it go. About like why you continue fights with these fucking unknowns, you know. Like the guy yesterday that I know. Like he came at me and you because like why are you guys retweeting? Why are you using your fan bases to slap this person around? Because we can. Because they deserve it. Because that's how they fucking learn. When 10,000 people descend on them and tell them they're idiots, they often think it's far more valuable input than if I just tell them. It just works out that way, right?
Yeah, and remember, like this isn't me privately on like a platform I control exclusively saying, "Hey, look at this guy, go get them." This is a public forum. So I hate this argument on Twitter that I shouldn't reply to people with like fucking 50 followers or whatever.
Yeah,
it's public.
But they can fuck with you.
It's like, oh sure, it's like being in a bar, and you know Twitter is a bar effectively, and there's loads of conversations and loads of things going on, and you insert yourself into one conversation with total strangers who you don't know, and you say something abusive, and other people in the bar fucking notice it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is also very big weight to what Scoots is saying though, like power numbers. Like when you do that, it definitely sinks in. There was a player that may have made a comment about my team during a tournament when we played each other that he didn't make in the server.
Oh, that was Dazzle, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was Dazzle. And then he
Yo, he messaged me about that. He was like, "Holy shit, I just got fucking wrecked." I was like laughing, going, "Yeah, welcome to my world, baby."
Yep.
So, it was like one of those things where there's definitely, what Scoots is saying is 100% true, and that people will, the more there are, it sinks in a bit more, more than just one person.
And what they don't seem to get, like I think, and I can't speak for why you do it, Richard, but I don't do it to rally my followers.
Me neither.
To help me, because I don't need their help. Like,
Definitely not.
Like the argument is the argument, or whatever it is. I'm usually laughing when I do it, and it's usually like, you all need to see this stupidity, please, right? And
exactly,
sure, come pile on, but like I don't need your help to pile on, because this person already follows me. So for some reason they think my opinion matters, so I'm already shitting on them. Like unknowns following me necessarily. No offense to those people. You know what I mean? Like that's not why we do it. I don't do it for that. I do it like you're all my friends. You follow me. Like, look at this fucking idiot who happens to follow me, it looks like, but look at the stupid shit they're saying. Like, this lady was literally lying to make a point.
Yeah,
about Sponge,
and then really weird,
about
like
Thorin.
Yeah, and then was like saying, "Oh, when Thorin predicts a game wrong, isn't he lying too?" And I'm like, well, he doesn't know the motherfucking future. Like, how can it be a lie?
Yeah, that lost me. That right there, I was done, right? And then she pointed like the .esports article, but I don't think the .esports article said that he was banned from Poland and could not enter the country, right? So like
it didn't, and it did use the verbiage "fired," which is inaccurate. I mean, shit, man. The Daily Dot's fucking gone to fucking shit now. You know.
So half the time it's just like I have to share this stupidity with somebody else because it's too like you're not gonna believe this, right? Yeah.
No, but I know that my audience gets a big kick out of it when they see like somebody like legitimately fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like they're like, "Fucking hell, Richard, how do you cope with that shit?" It actually gives them a bit of insight into what it's like to have a following. You know?
I mean, it's just like your bar scenario. We're all sitting around the table, and I nudge you and go, "Look at that motherfucker who's drunk over by the jukebox.
Yeah.
He can't even push the fucking buttons." He told me earlier that he was,
Yeah.
It's like that motherfucker right there. You know? And all your friends start
Yeah, and
laughing.
and that doesn't mean go get up and get in his face. It means let's just have a fucking giggle at the idiot, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you know. I mean, and then I always love for me. People are like, "Geez, don't you have something better to do?" I'm like, well, I could do something better, but it's not like I have a 9-to-5 job. Like this is not taking any of my time. It's taking way more.
Sometimes
of your valuable
I'm
time than
working
mine.
while I'm wrecking people on Twitter.
Yeah,
Like
right?
it's like I'm on the clock right now and making more money tweeting this like than you are than tweeting at me. So let's don't tell me I'm wasting my time. This is very
Like,
much
this
on
took me
brand.
2
for me.
seconds to. It took me 2 seconds to wreck you. Like this was easy.
What's going on in this Astralis Renegades?
Anyway, yeah, let's. It's 14.
Well,
13.
no, listen. Remember, I do recall somebody said that actually they felt Renegade's best chance was on Mirage. I can't remember who it was. Good-looking guy, large penis, I'm told.
Large penis.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, it must
Wait.
be him. Yeah, it must have been Warwick Davis. Yeah.
he did show up. Okay. Yeah, my whole speech about like Astralis being motivated from above, like just nope. Throw it away, folks. Any given Sunday, we're going back to any given Sunday. It's a game of pixels.
Yeah, you love it.
It's a game
We
of
gotta fight for those pixels.
I can't get in there with you, Rich. I can't do it anymore. I would if I could.
Steaming, Willie beaming. What a legend.
I mean, to be fair, saying Mirage is their best chance and their two maps are Nuke and Inferno isn't really like fair. Like,
Brother, it turns out I'm a motherfucking genius. What can I say? I can't help it, Dust. Like, clearly I was born this way. I'm just born to do it, mate.
And if you're not
This
familiar,
was
that
13-5, guys.
Rich and I recreating the greatest scene of any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Pretty good Al Pacino, you and I are, I think, probably.
Well, yeah, we both shout a lot, so we're good. We're good late 90s Al Pacino, early noughties Al Pacino, where he just like literally decided to shout for the entire time. Something happened when he was doing Heat, and he just never came back. Like, you know.
I'm watching you.
Yeah. Give me all you got. Give me all you got. Who? What are you, a
shouting
fucking
over
owl?
here.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
wait, that's Dustin Hoffman. I'm sorry, that was Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
I'm walking over here.
It's unreal, man. Pacino, like, just became shouty 90s guy. The fucking, what's that scent of a woman, dude?
Oh, yeah, that was it. That was the start of it. Hooah!
Yeah. Hooah!
Hooah!
This is smelling like OT.
Everybody's got to have
meanwhile,
a 3-0.
Inta's getting absolutely banged
Yeah.
out on train.
Easy,
Would-
friends.
I mean, wouldn't everyone have a 3-0
Easy
for
exit
Astralis on their
friends.
pick'ems, right? Wouldn't you have 3-0 at Astralis? Oh, man, this might hurt. Well, I guess it's not over yet, but it's...
I went 3-0 liquid.
About
So
the
here we
same.
go.
The next
Get
two
some
maps are
focus.
Nuke
Make it
and
a little
Inferno.
harder for
I think
themselves,
it's
yeah.
uphill from here for Renegades.
Yeah.
True.
Because they're not
No.
winning Nuke. That's not happening.
Dust, we just talked about it in the locker room.
I'm
It's a
doubling
game
down.
of pixels. Any given Sunday.
You've got a lifetime.
I
to
feel
win
pretty
this
comfortable
game of
doubling down on
Counter-Strike.
Nuke. And it is OT. Here we go.
I need some more coffee, man.
Yeah, I always start the day with a liter of coffee, and then I know it's egregious to like add to that, but I do get this big dip around about now, like 4 hours after. And I'm always worried that I'm gonna drink so much coffee, like my heart's just gonna explode, which I definitely don't want. I
Yeah,
like
not a good thing, probably.
Yeah, I like my heart. Plus, I gotta get a nap after the games today because I'm off to see my trainer tonight. So, core muscle day. Sad.
Core values, muscle day.
Yeah, core values day. Yeah.
Core values day.
Man.
So
That interview was actually hilarious with
Thanks for the
your
$5 there,
mapping
brother.
methods.
Appreciate it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, what'd you say?
What's
Sorry,
that?
I talked
What'd
over
you
that.
say, Dust?
Oh, I was just saying, like, the interview you did where you talked about your napping methods.
Yeah, you gotta get naked, dude. This is true. Anybody can test this for themselves. If you ever need a nap, you've only got 1 hour to get a nap in, right? Make sure you get fully naked. I mean, fully naked, not even your boxers, not even your pants, not even one of them stringy little mankini things. Fully fucking naked. as the day you were born, and you get under the duvet, and there you go.
Do you sleep naked too? Like at night?
Not at night, but if I need a nap, a power fucking nap, then
Why the difference? Why not just?
I don't know what it
power
is.
Nap is good. Why not sleep naked? Then you'd have 8 hours of power naked nap.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for old man testicles sticking to your thighs. But the 1 hour probably the 1 hour nap the 1 hour nap is where it's at. So yeah, get fully naked under the duvet, and the 1 hour feels like 2, like it doubles it up.
I got you. So so you're afraid that if you actually slept naked, you would diminish the returns.
It's
of the
definitely
nap
diminishing
naked.
returns. It's definitely
I got you.
diminishing
I got you.
returns. Yeah.
So it's a special thing. That's why it's extra special. That 1
it only
hour.
seems to work for short stints.
It's like 7-minute abs. Yeah, I got you. So if you slept in the nude on a regular basis, would you then nap in clothes? Would that be better?
I don't think so. I don't think it
Okay.
would work. I think it would just
The
mitigate.
reverse logic's not going to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's making a comeback. 7-4.
Oh,
babe.
here we go. Sam's fucking
Do it
away.
for the baby.
Sam's finally woke up. Him and Thorin seem to be fucking aligned on the same sleep schedule because Duncan said he's going to be coming. He's incoming,
Oh,
so
nice.
God help us all. fl0m, set up
Oh yeah.
set up the mute button.
Anyone who
Mother-
cares about their
mother-
Twitch channel, now would be the time to leave.
Yeah,
There,
fl0m.
no.
Yeah. set up the mute button. Dust, hide in the corner.
I
I'm getting
encourage you, man.
setting up a
Jesus.
delete everything button. It's a full-on purge. So like when I hit it, it just
Yeah.
turns off the stream and it deletes all VOD.
Yeah.
For like the last year.
It's a good hotkey to have.
Just fucking. Oh, I said it. Just
Got about 5.
I'm just gone. You just hear me like robot out of here. Like,
I mean, if I get banned, it'll be good that I won't feel guilty about not streaming. You know, I can blame somebody else. I'd love to stream, guys. I'd love to bring Sad back, but shit. Sucks.
Thank you, Bakerino, for the 9 months. Appreciate it. Big fan of these primes. Best thing that ever came out of the Amazon Twitch partnership, honestly.
Oh snap! Did you see this about Flusha?
Yeah, I saw people in the chat. I didn't want to kind of address it,
Wait.
but yeah.
No, what? What?
I think
Fucking
his
hell, man.
mother passed away.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
a
God,
rough
no.
fucking time for all these players, dude.
You mean like now, like today passed away, or passed away and we just didn't know about it?
Yeah, this morning.
Yeah, he
yeah,
found,
so suddenly, yeah.
yeah, he said like his mother suddenly passed, and he just found out this morning before the game. So that kind of sucks.
Oh.
While you're at a tournament as well, man. Like, so yeah, hopefully the community's not going to be fucking assholes if Cloud9 maybe underperform a little bit, given that Flusher is, you know, the leader and everything of the team. But I won't hold my breath on that front. But he's making the right call, I'll tell you. If you're going through something like that, the last place you need to be is on fucking social media. That's free fucking advice for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to get on there and go home.
Yeah.
I feel like I just goddamn typed this message 3 days ago to another player.
Yes.
I did. I fucking did. You know.
It's fucking rough, isn't it, dude?
I mean, it's life, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm taking care of my mom. That's why I'm not at the majors. So, like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the hardest things we have to face as a human. I mean, at least if you have a close relationship to your parents. I mean, add that caveat, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. I'll be back.
Yeah, do it, dude. Yeah, I'm in a position I don't even know if my fucking father's dead.
I'm in the same boat as you, man. I have no
Yeah.
idea either.
Yeah, I'm fucking like,
But I know my mom passed right before a SIVO event, so
Yeah, I remember
I know.
that.
I know how that feels. I know how that feels too. You know, it's tough.
Oh well, shit, man. Gotta keep on keeping on, right?
Yeah. Man, this Renegades Astralis game has actually been real fierce. This is
No, I
pretty
know,
cool to see.
man. It's pretty cool to see from Renegades.
A lot better than I
because
thought it was gonna be, dude.
I really didn't know how to feel about them, right? And like when the first half there was going the way it was, I was just like, well, yeah, Renegades is kind of like they still got the upset potential, but they're kind of whatever. Still, like, they're not as crazy as I think they are. But then now it's just like, okay, this is.
You know,
I feel like
the
this is something we
crazy-
haven't really seen from Renegades team.
I mean, the crazy part is they haven't dropped a single map yet this major. And if you go back to the minors, they've only dropped 2 maps this entire major process. But they haven't lost the series though. Like they won all their series. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's nuts actually. This includes
Wow.
beating teams like Ints and FaZe and stuff like the N and IP. So like, it's
I
pretty
mean,
nuts
if they
what
are
they're
going to be Astralis, it has to start here because Nuke is next. And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, as much as I would love to believe that, Renegades beating them on the first map, that they could possibly do it. And I'm not saying there's no chance, but it's
pretty.
very, very, very unlikely.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't know, man.
I mean, I'll say this for fucking sure. Like, I just wish the fucking Aussie fan base weren't a bunch of fucking obnoxious Dick Stacy fucking fans, and then I could get behind it. But it's like, unfortunately, after my recent experiences, it's like that saying, it's not enough that I succeed. I want everyone else to fail. It's like, I want fucking Australian Counter-Strike to be back to the terrible days of old.
Mm.
Yeah,
It just sucks because, like, especially with social media, so many like vocal minorities can actually like it's so fucking obnoxious.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It only takes like a group of like 10 or 20 people to just feel like it's like constant, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what did it for me was, and again, it's like, if you're upset about it, fine. If you want to like be like, oh, Richard Lewis is a miserable old asshole, or the hilarious old man shouts at cloud meme, which is like, yeah, we've all seen The Simpsons, brilliant, really original. The thing that pissed me off is, again, like, it just immediately escalated to fucking violence. Like, when are you coming to I Am Sydney, motherfucker? I'll fucking fuck you up, motherfucker. It's like, well, you ain't. First of all, you ain't gonna do fucking shit to me. What the fuck you talking about? And then second of all, like, you're literally threatening somebody on the internet over a drawing of a penis. Like, where is your fucking life at? Like, and if it was like 1 or 2, you go, I'll blame those individuals. No, it's entire Discords full of them. Yeah. Right, I heard Sam coughing in the living room, and there's a strange smell of.
You just walk. I found the bong. Found the bong.
Yeah, I think I
wake
can't.
and
No, what
bake.
is that smell? It smells strange. Hang on, I'm just gonna check what it is.
It's muffins. I'm sure he baked fresh
It could
muffins
be.
for you. It's called wake and bake, Richard. If you're not familiar with the
A
term.
good old wake and bake.
Which means he baked some muffins when he woke up.
He's just fumigating the scorpions. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That'd actually be
Getting
hilarious.
all the scorps out.
Legalize it.
Gotta get the scorps out.
Criticize it.
Scorps, please.
Fucking Renegades, 18.
Did you see that JKS shot though on the guy?
It was a
ticket?
pipe. No, it was a pipe. It wasn't a bong. I'd never pull a bong hit on stream. Are you kidding me? It was a pipe though. It was pretty funny.
What's that?
Were you watching that stream, or did you
What
see
stream?
the clip? Did you see the clip, Noto? That's like
Wait, what did you do?
2 years ago. Hang on, my phone's ringing. Hang on, let me take this call. Be right back.
Okay. And then there were two.
Trying to learn about the pipe, and all of a sudden he's got a phone
He's
call.
gone.
Interesting.
He really teased it there, man. It's like something you're a little interested in.
Yeah, I got
You
edged
hear
out
more.
real
He's like,
hard
I
right
gotta
there.
go. Conveniently. Like,
As Richard talked about before, I fucking love getting edged out. So yeah, just another day for me.
It's a good one.
All right, I'm actually dipping on you for a second as well. My doggo needs some food.
Okay, so Dust is alone. You know what this means? Inappropriate AMA in chat. Just kidding. Don't do it. But now you are, because I already said it. It's over. Yeah.
All right,
Reasonable.
sorry, I had to take a phone call. My bad.
Oh. Everyone left, so I was alone. So you know what I did?
Oh, did you ask a question? Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt your questions.
No.
Your answer. It wasn't Arma 3. I was playing GTA 5 roleplay.
Oh,
Maybe you tell
so
the
like you
story.
took a rip off a pipe on your stream?
Yeah, so well, I was trying to figure out if I liked like the GTA RP thing, you know, when everyone was doing the RP.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of blowing up on Twitch. I was like, that looks really fucking fun. So I found a server I liked and started streaming. It was when I was streaming. And my character was they had just added like the cigarette animation or whatever in the server. So I was sitting outside my character, and I was sitting outside the police station. And my character was smoking. I think it was a joint. I think in the game there were joints, and I was smoking a joint outside the police station in GTA. And I grabbed a pipe here at the house, and was like hitting on it as I was hitting on it in game, if you will. And my camera was on, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, good times. I think it did make live stream fails for like 2 seconds. Serious fucking role play, man. So it's basically me going. I think that's about what happened, Noto. Is that about right? Yeah, I think I switched to it. Like normally when you're doing GTA roleplay, most people don't have their cameras on because the idea is you're the character, and a lot of people turn their overlays, their shit off. So my camera was normally off, and I think I hit a button to go to something else. I think I was getting ready to take a break or go to the bathroom or something. So that's why my character was standing there, and so I hit the wrong screen. And my camera came back up as I was like, all right, I'm going to take it and go make a break or something, right? Anyway, deal.
No
It's kinda
Twitch
funny.
chat.
Yeah. I think I had like, 50 people watching me. Good times. They were fun. I enjoyed. I was a reformed mobster who wasn't really reformed, who was running a taco truck as a cover. And he was still a criminal. Nino Santoro, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Dust. Where you from, I just moved here, man. I love it. The beach is beautiful shit, From back east, it's not like this at all. But then, like, the idea behind, like, the problem is everyone metas, and, like, even our little shitty, because I wasn't playing Raw like the famous people were streaming, like, all the streamers. I wasn't doing any of that role play. Same game, but different server.
I feel you.
But even like in our little world, like we were trying to do like kind of like cool criminal shit, but like you'd look at your Twitch chat and like a cop in the server is in your Twitch chat. And it's like, how can you be watching me? I'm talking about shit I'm gonna do criminally, and you're a cop. Oh, I won't use that. I won't remember that. Like, no, like you're breaking the fun for me. Like you will know now, even if you're not going to use it in game. You as a human know that we're plotting to do this thing, right? And I was like, okay, that just turns me off. So yeah, I stopped kind of doing it. I stopped streaming in general because I got lazy, but that's why I kind of stopped doing the GTA stuff. I don't know, because on the big servers, like I don't know how they just don't care, I guess, as much. But I wanted to do cool shit, right? I wanted to pull shit off on the cops, not let them know about it until it happened. But yeah.
That
And
was
then
an
I tried to
interesting sentence to join the chat for.
Hey,
we'll
what's
pull
up, brother?
things off on the cops, not
Yeah, fuck them. You know what I mean?
Fucking off. Has he
Duncan,
been corded already?
I think we'll be quoting the philosopher and his famous line, "Fuck the police," or was it "Fuck the police"? I can't quite remember how he phrased
No,
it.
that was
yeah.
the one. You remember when we were doing a Gfinity event, and I can't remember what I remember it was when Envious was there, and they just made their alias like have the tagline "The Boys in Blue" because they were branding themselves that way. And I made the joke because obviously we used to have like infinite downtime at G4E. When we had the downtime, I was like, oh, that has a weird association in the UK though, because obviously like the Boys in Blue is what we call the police. And then I said some sort of a line like that, and I'd like to quote, a famous philosopher from the Compton area regarding the police. And then if you remember, right, the best thing was some guy, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or in chat or whatever, just goes, I don't want to hear about Compton. I want to hear about Counter-Strike. It's like, brilliant. Well, we're only filming for like 7 hours here, mate. Like, give me a break.
The Gfinity talk shows, man. That's what those were. Those first.
It was like a episode of Unfiltered with a game going on every now and then.
Oh God. Although some of the most challenging, I think, for us production-wise, but also I think I've never laughed so hard as I did.
Oh, they were a lot of fun for sure.
My
yeah.
God. Oh my God.
Because people don't realize that's essentially why we came up with that style, right? You had to keep yourself entertained and going even when there's nothing going on in the game, right?
Yeah, and Gfinity, those owners are super cool. Like they totally.
They had a really
embraced-
nice
I mean,
attitude.
the Angels, man, they embraced it. They like. Even when we mocked their, we didn't mock him, but like we yelled at, is there investors walking through? We didn't know who they were.
Sure. No, the mad thing about that as well is people won't realize, like, there's a lot of people in the esports industry who are very cynical and I'll go ahead and call them out. Like DreamHack loved to play up the angle that they loved when it was banter, when it was me and Richard, and they were like the massive underdog to ESL because they were clever enough to know, like, if we brand a different direction, that can be sort of our thing for now. But if you look at them, like, they clearly, especially once they got the Masters brand, they went right away from that and more to like professionalism, like suits, like they completely abandoned the banter angle. Like, I would even say ESL has been a bit cynical in that sense. Like, they definitely opened up to it when they saw that was getting successful. Whereas actually Gfinity, that kind of was what they were into. They kind of did vibe with us on that level, I think. Wasn't just a cynical move from our money.
Do you remember that time when we fucking had to do that whole bit about for Jurassic Park, and you made some fucking joke like talking about fucking dinosaurs or washed up dinosaurs or something that won't die or something. Slasher, there's a name I haven't heard
It was
in a while.
because, if you remember, we had to do an advert back to back for Jurassic World, and then obviously the Score Esports app when he used to do that. So
that was it. Yeah, and he was working at the Score. Yeah,
and that was when we just got 2 messages back through production staff. One was, "Please don't make fun of Jurassic World like it is, sort of funny." And then the other one was, "Please do not reference the Score Esports or Slasher or anyone who works for Score Esports." Bear in mind, obviously, I wasn't even supposed to be saying anything. I was just supposed to stand there while Richard read the.
Yeah, you got the host guy. Yeah.
But it's the way they had to do it. Like they couldn't even just come to you face to face. They had to do it like sending a message down through corporate. Something like, we'd please appreciate if you could not address Slasher or any other employees of the Score Esports.
I mean, fuck the Score for being a bunch of humorless fucking assholes. Like,
I know, isn't that so stupid?
Yeah, like because we were like, it wasn't like we were saying, "Oh, the Score's terrible." We were saying, "Oh, there's some good articles in there." Some good fucking, fucking pieces coming out to support this tournament and go read this guide here and all that. It was like that, but then we wanted to have a little bit of fucking fun. Like why?
And I think, as people know from how I do my intros when I have a sponsor, I think it's actually a more effective marketing strategy. Like, I tune out if I know it's the same. Like, whenever Machine used to have to literally read the same copy. The second I hear him saying, of course, the Score Esports, like, my brain just tunes out then, because I know what's coming.
Apparently, you've got a little bit of echo. It's like, I don't know if it's thinking.
It's not me. It echoes off Scoots, it looks like.
Oh, is it?
I think it's Scoots. I heard it
looks like, is he using speakers or something?
No, am I echoing? Wait, talk.
Yeah. Hello. See, I'm fine. Hello.
Oh yeah.
It was somehow it comes back in through Scoots.
Yep,
but only when I talk
sorry.
for some bizarre reason.
Yeah.
You're really loud.
Am I super loud, isn't it?
In my own Discord. So let me.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can turn me manually down if you want.
No.
All right, now talk.
It's just people.
Hello?
People
Test.
piss
Yeah,
and
that's
moan
better.
like it's got to be a fucking perfectly equalized fucking sound deck when it's just a bunch of fucking guys on Discord.
I always like to do that classic one, Richard, where whenever people complain, like, for example, like, I didn't really promise, I just said that I would release the second part of an interview on Monday, and then obviously, like, I didn't release it, and I even said, I'm actually busy traveling, it turns out, so I can't do it. So it was all people like, but you promised! And all I ever say is I just ask for a refund, mate. You don't have to put up with this, just ask for a refund. This is fucking unacceptable, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that? You paid fuck all? Right. Guess you better get on my face then. or my industry, depending on who you are.
Exactly.
Sad thing is, if Scoots doesn't use that, I might actually be the one to take it because I could
I
use
don't
that,
use
Scoots.
it. I don't use it. Like,
know, that's the problem.
It's Richard's. I yelled at him. It's his.
Because
Like,
obviously,
he
I would
owns
just
it.
do a series where I just make my sort of top 10 people I hate and then just go through one by one. Like, and here's another person who needs to get the fuck out of my industry.
Oh, you mean like really use it? Like, yeah, I could put it.
Well, here's the thing. I would have the balls to do it. Like, I'd put like fucking Bobby Kotick on them, mate. I don't give a fuck. Until they get to the point, and listen, I'll crucially say within Western esports, where they start killing motherfuckers, I feel like I'm still ready to pop off. I'm not really interested in commenting on Eastern Europe and Asia anymore, though. Like, lost a lot of my passion for that. You know why?
Yeah, I thought.
You know what it is, you know, Rich. I am not that edgy anymore with those regions, you know.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, people's interests change.
Especially because they do sometimes have CS:GO events in China, so don't really have any jokes about them. Sorry. So,
Love. Great
not
Wall.
nothing
Great
funny to
Wall's
say, is
beautiful.
what game are we watching then?
I'm watching the second map of Astralis Renegades.
Ashy CFC. It's something Scoots told some dumbass several years ago. Yeah, that's about right. That's where it came from.
Holy shit! Renegades won the first one.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
came
they
back
did.
from 13-5 to win in 1917 in overtime.
I just saw them when they were getting completely ploughed on the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, you did that classic thing. What do I always tell you? As soon as you tweet, reality will alter. Hold off on those tweets until reality has decided what it wants to do. But you always do it. You went, yeah, it's just a bit too hard, this one for it. And they came back. 14-5 people are saying it was.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not half bad.
Yeah. So,
I noticed, by the way, because when I opened the stream to watch part of that, I noticed that they are actually like mad changing up the people doing all the casting. Like they've got all the people off the analyst desk doing it as well.
Mm-hmm. They do that for the first 2 days of each week.
It's a good idea when you have that many games to do, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
The second map start, by the way, for Renegades Astralis?
Nah, no,
No,
yeah.
not
It's
yet.
like,
Remember,
they're in the
it's
server, though,
it's
one
nuke
person
as
joined.
well, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. You've won Mirage. Your reward, you must now play Astralis on Nuke. Oh, okay.
so that's gonna be.
Come on down and get your prize.
Yeah, come on down.
But
Just
as you
keep
know,
feeding
Jones,
their
it's a game
record,
of pixels.
please.
You know, even though Renegades are Australian, and as we've established, Australian fans are making a big late play in 2019 for to become some of the most obnoxious fans in esports. Good on you. It'd be nice to see Astralis lose this, just so everyone who put them 3-0 in the pick'ems in fucking cynical, so easy fashion. It would be great to see all those people reduced to tears.
Maybe it's just one of those lost
Who
in
hurt you?
translation things, you know, because obviously in Australia they love doing that like shoey thing, don't they? So maybe you just don't understand, Richard, that again, as part of their culture, you know, just like you could drink a beer out of a shoe, they like to drink out of a dick.
The fuck?
It's a Dick Stacey reference, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
just in case anyone was wondering about that.
He's just starting to warm up.
You know, just
Yeah.
leave that on there, see how it goes.
Crack the knuckles. Here we go.
Just test the temperature of the room.
Yeah.
You know?
Just dropping those breadcrumbs.
We have any toss fans out there? Now would be the time to leave the room.
A lot of TOS fans in the audience.
No.
TOS fans be like, yeah.
I meant terms of service fans.
Oh, by the way, I love the fact that those Cloud9 players all memed on Sponge after they won their first game, then just got straight 16-0 and said nothing, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really couldn't have written that any better, could
know.
you? I mean, like,
Sponge showed great
Did you actually
restraint,
see
not
the
responding.
Tweet from the official
Oh,
Cloud9
Jesus.
Twitter,
Apparently,
though?
Flasher's
I love
mom
that.
has died.
Yeah,
Just
did you not
tweeted
see
yeah.
that either?
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
yeah, while he's at the tournament. Yeah.
Probably a good job I just saw that as I was like priming to just roast all the Cloud9 players, really.
Yeah, maybe don't. Maybe hold on
timing.
that one for today.
Little mercies from the universe there that I clicked on that tweet.
Yeah, because
you guys,
you know how that would have blown up and been took out of fucking context, right?
Did you guys see the Cloud9 tweet from their official Twitter after the 16-0? I thought it was pretty good. They had
No.
like the speed run set up. Like, you know how
Yeah.
have you ever seen one of the speed run streams
they,
where it's
they
like
mean themselves pretty good.
they're like, we
That's
got
pretty
this game done in 20 minutes. Pissed around like 1 minute, all that kind of shit. It was
Yeah, they
really
broke
good.
all the 4 rounds. It was good. It was good memes.
So
That's all
at
you can
least the
do.
Twitter account took it in good stride.
That's all you can do, man. Because if you go with like, well, the boys tried their best, we'll be coming back with Sean Connery with your best. The best is for losers. Losers
Reference game on point.
did their best. Winners go home. Fuck the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen.
Nowadays, of course, they're like, "What in the hell do you mean, prom queen?"
Yeah, what are you? Is there some sort of gender
Oh god!
assigned
Oh, here we go.
pageantry
Oh,
competition
She told me he
that
likes
goes
a lot of
in?
these discussions.
King and
I was just
queen?
trying to make breakfast for Sam, please. Like,
what's Sam getting in bed? Is he getting?
no, he's up now. He's up. He's sat at the PC.
Is he getting the proper English?
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna have.
So anyway, I says to her, "How do you like your eggs?" She says, "As part of a man, biologically."
Oh!
Fucking help me, man.
Right, that'll be the end of that segment for now.
Well, fl0m, it's nice knowing you.
Right, here's the post-it note I've got. I've got no stuff about fl0m or
Yeah,
human biology.
yeah, good.
Yeah,
There's a few others I recommend. Can you just add?
Get the pad out.
Yeah, don't reference Donald Trump, please. Can you? Have you written that down?
Just a silence. I don't know. I can't tell if he's writing it down or.
Probably need to stay away from Smollett.
Funny thing is, I actually think that it's kind of bizarre because if you think about it, right, I don't ever think about Donald Trump except for the fact that it's other people always telling me, "Oh, have you seen this bloody thing this guy's tweet?" It's like, I don't see this stuff, mate. You guys are the one boosting the signal all the time.
Mm.
Richard, when's your next event locally that you're open to the public and doing something in your studio there?
Good
Or
change the
can you not tell me?
subject. Yeah. Thorin, also add this to a separate post-it note. Things to talk about.
Like what?
Yeah, like just me and my life on my stream. That'd be great.
Well, no, Richard, I think you've made a clear mistake there because,
Yeah.
as I know from reading the post about By the Numbers, the last thing we ever want to hear
I
is
fucking
any
tried,
of your
I'm done.
opinions or life.
That is true. So
I
anyway,
tried. That's it.
I've never understood the
college
people
try.
as well who like, you just wonder, don't you? Like, what are you here for? If they're like, "I'm only here for the CS:GO analysis," it's like, it's not really the strongest point of our show, to be fair, is it? Like, I think you might have oversold the show, guys.
Yeah, there'd be 2 main channels available for that, in multiple languages, even probably. No, I meant that sincerely because I'd like to come see you in Vegas. It's really close, so it would make sense to.
well,
say hi when
the
you're doing something.
next event is Hearthstone, I think. So for reasons that I'm sure people might be able to figure out, I won't be on that broadcast. I'll be running that one logistically.
Fair enough. Yeah. Mm.
The logistics man.
Did you
Throw
kill
it
a
into
man
the
in
in-house?
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
I actually don't know the story on this.
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
shit, I assume.
I
is
think
the
Blizzard
joke,
in
right?
general probably is what
I-
you're alluding
yeah.
Right, I see. Blizzard, yeah, I forgot.
Yes, basically what I did was I tombstoned a 12-year-old Swede through a table at Hell in the Cell, BlizzCon 2016.
And then tagged in Crip, and he did the exact same thing, but it was fine when he did it because he's a good guy.
I mean,
so.
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
you would almost think that Blizzard, in a weird way, would embrace you because you actually almost killed a guy in a competitive game, right?
I know,
So
right?
that-
You would have
right?
thought
Like,
they would have been
he
all
was-
about
He's a
that.
Dota guy, so
Yeah. Didn't
yeah.
work out like that, unfortunately.
Would have helped Heroes of the Storm grow. And
You see, the thing I did wrong was
Flourish.
obviously when I did tombstone that 12-year-old Swede in DreamHack Hell in the Cell 2015. The thing I did wrong was I was wearing a MAGA hat while I did it, right? And if
I didn't know.
that was where the threshold was.
See, this is where I
Crip
lose all
did it
respect.
wearing an "I'm still with her"
Pussy hat.
yeah, and wearing a pussy hat, and I'm still with her T-shirt, and a Go Veganism badge on his. It's such a fine line, Scott. Really, it's such a fine line.
I just did the chick spit take right now. Yeah, really, in my face. Holy shit.
Anyway, yeah, and I did have that smirk, that weaponized smirk, as well.
The weaponized.
See,
smirk.
I didn't know you were wearing the hat. Now I have to say my favorite
Your looks are deadly. Richard.
phrase. I've lost all respect for you.
Oh, is
I
this
know
still
you
a
owned
warm
a
up?
hat, let alone wore it. You know.
Or is this actually the pistol?
Yeah, I think it's live.
Yeah,
Watch out,
we're live.
it's live over there.
Holy shit! As if fucking. As if Renegades are
If
gonna
Big
take
wins,
this.
I'm watching this last round. If Big takes this 14-8, I'm closing this shit. I'm just saying fuck ends. Fuck my pick'ems.
The only thing easy for Ince right now is exiting.
Did
the
tell
tournament.
y'all that Ince was a trap.
Oh, you've done the thing of starting up Counter-Strike and it's turned
Oh,
out
that's
it
it.
massively again.
Surely
Ah.
Thorin just loaded up Counter-Strike.
Yeah. I told you all!
Yeah, we know.
Fucking hell, it's
sorry.
Louis Armstrong's
Has
joined
it gone
the
back up?
fucking stream. You know what I mean?
Is it normal volume now?
Yeah.
Skies are blue.
That was Scooby-Doo, wasn't it?
I don't know what that was.
Renegades 1 pistol on CT side. There's hope.
Well,
Yeah.
it depends because they've done this force buy, but obviously if they win this, then fuck yeah. I mean, they got a chance to start getting.
Well,
some solid
Renegades
rounds
isn't a
on
bad
them.
nuke team. I mean, obviously it's Astralis on nuke, but this isn't like a bad map by any means for Renegades either. I think they have a pretty high win percentage on this map.
He got the fuse in the smoke.
They're okay on it, yeah.
I think it's like actually their win percent on this map is pretty fucking like good. Like if they weren't playing against Astralis, you would favor them to always take Duke essentially.
I think they've only
Thanks
played it
for
one
the
time
sub,
with this lineup. though.
Fatan Diazi 93. Appreciate it.
Like since like Liaz and Gratis Faction Join, they've only played it like one time.
Hmm.
Oh, and there we go. They're just gonna lose
Which was
that
this
immediately
tournament, I'm
then.
pretty sure, right? Yeah, they beat Ince earlier on it. And that's the only time they played it. Uh-oh.
Oh, just ahead of me, is he? I'm on 24
probably-
seconds, 23, 22,
I'm at 20.
21, 20.
No, I'm just saying because he got the kill. He got into a
Ah,
1v1.
right.
I think Dust was actually behind you then, Rich.
Oh, okay, just checking, just checking.
Yeah, I'm in the next round 18, 17, 16, 15, 14.
I'm just watching it off your stream because I'm watching still the big Ince game because I
That's all
Yeah,
AC
'cause-
said right there. Even when they lose the pistol, just go ahead and win the next round. Then no problem.
Oh, fat and lazy. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I didn't put that together. My bad. Sorry, brother. Thanks for the sub. Fat and lazy. I thought it said Diazi at the end. Thought it was
Hey,
like
Robert,
a Turkish name or something.
you keep asking about Too Good's game. I mean, until it comes out, no one will know. I haven't seen any.
Which game?
If you watch the videos, it actually
Games
does
is
look
good.
like the
Good.
movement in it's pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
it looks like
like-
quick 3-star movement.
He
Agreed.
said that he fucking like that's the thing he really put the time in to replicate. He felt that was the most important stuff. So I'd be amazed if it wasn't exactly like it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game, if you will. Just he doesn't have a big company yet. He's building a lot of infrastructure around the whole thing. I had a long talk with him in Stockholm at the DreamHack event. Kind of caught up with him. I hadn't seen him in several years, and I think he could do some really cool, exciting stuff because he also has an incredible esports background, and he's very focused on how he wants his companies to do their esports versus how he sees developers and everybody else doing esports. So it'll be interesting. He's got
Yeah.
obviously he knows that, but this first game is just like the step, right? This is not the end game for him. James is you all know, James is a very ambitious guy, so it'll be interesting. I wish him luck.
I'm just waiting for the celebrity death match between him and Gabe, dude. That's what we need.
We need celebrity death. Someone should claymation if they were talented. That guy. Could you imagine
Yeah.
esports like celebrity death match
Esports
versus
celebrity
their-
death match would be
Yeah.
fucking sick. Like,
Yeah.
Oh god.
Who would your favorite matchup be?
Man.
Richard versus Thorin.
we've never
No,
had
that's
it.
a tag team.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
a
we have
tag
the
team,
Legion of
mate,
Doom or
yeah.
something, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I
I
would
have,
put-
I have a couple I think would be
Versus-
good.
I mean, topical would
Slasher
be Thorn and
versus
Slasher. would be
Slasher versus
topical.
Thorin.
That would be very.
Yeah, I didn't
that'd
even
be-
ask you, Duncan. What did you think of the video the interview I did with him? Did you watch it yet?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think?
Uh,
Awkward pause after I asked the question.
like, I get the feeling that the reason why, like, put it this way, I was actually surprised by how you characterized it. Like, I get the sense that just because you got him to talk about some of those things, it was probably something you wouldn't otherwise address. That you thought you'd kind of like got him to Like, put it this way, I didn't see any mea culpa whatsoever in that entire interview.
Not even when he said, like, what I did was
Well,
shitty and I
first of
shouldn't
all-
do it?
Well, no, because actually he just said that, but then if you listen to everything he said before and after that, he basically walked it back immediately. Like, for example, he literally describes lying about me, factually lying, and saying I should be fired from my job, which he then denies that he ever did, by the way. So apparently him mentioning ESL and any key was just coincidence. It had no relevance whatsoever. That wasn't to bring light to the fact that I'm working at an event I could be fired from. He denied that. Then also, he absolutely implied that that's him dunking on me is just lying about me and telling me I should be fired. Like to him, that's banter, Richard. He actually thinks that's banter.
Yeah.
And then also, there's the part where he literally tried to imply that me getting fired from OnGamers for tweeting the word retard, which, by the way, I'm sure Slasher himself has said many times since publicly.
Oh, sure.
He implied that that was like almost as bad as him killing the fucking site's ability to ever publish anything on Reddit. Like, he really did try to imply that.
Yeah, that was stupid, yeah.
As though, like, as though when I, the thing that you were absolutely right, by the way, that one of the things that really bothered me was that a guy I personally knew at OnGamers, I don't know if he'd ever met this guy, because for a start, he got his fucking name wrong. He called him Sonny. His name was actually Solly, but okay. What's in a name? When he was talking about that guy, he also seemed to think that, like, it wasn't a big deal that guy, literally had a newborn kid and was obviously going to get, like, maximum 3 or 4 more months of having a job. I noticed the part he didn't bother mentioning as well was the part where when he was fired, he cashed all of his checks that he hadn't sent in for 6 months, which meant that we found out that we didn't know we had no budget left because he took all the money that we had left at the site. So people like that also then were shit out of luck, and the site was definitely going to.
Yeah, I forgot that part of the story, actually.
I know, you can't be blamed for that one. That was a kind of a more side detail that never really came out. Just all this private stuff,
Yeah.
So my big problem with that whole issue is, like, I'm not surprised that he wants to talk to me. I mean, like you said, he literally behaves like a jilted ex who just desperately wants to get back with you. But I didn't really feel like there was any contrition there whatsoever. I think he just did that because you framed it in a way that was so unreasonable. He had to give some ground,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I squashed the beef with him to a certain extent because I think it's just like, with Overwatch League being so big, it kind of makes sense to have sort of access and.
Oh, I get it from your perspective, mate. But here's the thing as well. I don't imagine you would be
just
exactly
to help the
so
players
forthcoming if he'd have, like, repeatedly tweeted how he should be fired and all that sort of thing. Literally called you a harm to esports.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
I mean, that isn't banter. Like, he literally did those things.
Like, he did that shit to you publicly. He did shit like that to me privately. I mean, I don't know what's worse, honestly.
Oh, by the way, there's another detail that people don't know, because why would I talk about it? If you noticed, when someone only wants attention, I'm not going to give them the attention. But I will say this. Like, it's actually pathetic how many people in the esports industry, apropos of nothing, have messaged me like, why is this Slasher guy telling me to talk shit to you publicly?
Yeah, I know.
Like, how pathetic is this guy, man?
Yeah, he was...
Because I don't, when I'm not around, I just don't think about Slasher. I just get on with my life and follow the esports industry. It's quite easy.
Here's the thing I will say, sort of as a caveat, and the grounds for kind of where I think... Like, I think he's less vitriolic and bitter now because I think he's in a better headspace. Like, literally, you have to understand his life was like a fucking blues song at that time. He lost his job. He was being subject
the best part is, Richard, I knew all that private stuff about his life. You ever seen me reveal it anywhere?
No, of course not.
Because I'm not a piece of shit.
But he even lost, like, I mean, like, guys like Scott, right? Like, were like, Rod, like, you're on your own with this one. Marcus, they were like, fucking, we defend you all the time, Rod, but you're acting like super unreasonable.
Here's the thing, Scoots wouldn't you? I mean, I want to get your take on this, but
okay.
I actually think that Slasher, in doing stuff like I just described, like messaging people privately, telling them like, why are you liking a tweet that Thorin did? Like, all he's done unknowingly is just drive away more people who liked him. Like, I'm not the one telling people to dislike him,
Is there a question there, Matt?
No, but it wasn't it.
Yeah, my take on that. Yeah, I don't know how public.
Because I got the vibe from you.
Like,
similar
Rod
thing,
and I
right?
are no longer. I mean, I'm not a friend of Rod's anymore. I don't know how he feels about me. I don't talk to him. I don't particularly like how he conducts himself. I too, obviously, a lot of us are aware of his personal issues. That's great. We've all had them. Rod and I in the business have had arguments our whole lives in this in the scene, right? Where we've always been very friendly and contentious. Like, we had a show together. Even then, like, I thought Rod was good and an idiot at the same time, if that makes sense, right? And so,
Of course, yeah.
And I can't speak for anyone else but myself, but for me, it's just been too many times of the same patterns of stuff, and my dad used to always say, like, no one pushes your buttons, you let people push your buttons, right? Because the saying is, you push my buttons, you push my buttons.
Yes.
No one you let that happen. And then with Rod, I just said no more, right? Now, and I
Exactly.
would never say that I was like one of his best buddies. Like him and Marcus are good friends.
Sure.
I was a friend acquaintance, like you need a buddy, if you will, a pal, but not necessarily in the same level. But I was like, I had enough, right?
Yes.
And even before Overwatch, right? And so my personal experience, and Rod and I have talked about it several times, when us three were hanging out, he would when Counter-Strike was blowing up, and again I don't know the time frame, and I don't want to put that where him and Sophie were or anything, but when we were having a good time on the road, you two and him, because I was never a journalist, right? I'm not a journalist like you guys, right? I wasn't at Goffrag, I never was, right? So I never had that beef with any of you guys, different beefs, or maybe. So when we were all buddies, I was sleeping with the fucking enemy because I was Rod's friend, right? And Live on 3 was kind of already over and all that was over, so we weren't doing anything together. But he was like, those fucking assholes, why do you hang out with them? Why do you, like, same kind of thing that you're saying. He didn't necessarily tell me to shit on you, but he was like, why do you support them? Why do you do, and I'm like, are you really going to tell me, like, who I can, like, do business with and who I can be on camera with? And how do you even know how I feel about them in private, right? And it was just weird, right? That because he dislikes you guys.
Yeah.
Now I don't know how he feels about you now, but then he very much disliked you. So it's like I was an asshole and that's when that was the second to last straw with Rod, right? So I'm like, dude, you just said I'm just like Richard and Thorin, and you think they're absolute assholes, so you just call me an absolute asshole. I'm kind of done with you.
You did the math.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with you. By that logic, I'm one of them, and I'm done. Like, good luck, whatever, I wish you, and because this is also a guy that has wanted to do Live on 3 again.
Yeah, I've been trying to bring that back
since it
forever.
ended.
Like.
And we were all doing shows together. Again, Counter-Strike was blowing up, so we were doing podcasts. You guys, so he was seeing very much Live on 3 type content, spicy shit that he was not part of. It was us. And like, again, I was sleeping with the fucking enemy, and I'm like, we're done. How dare you? I don't think that way about Richard and Duncan, but if you feel that way, I get your insult and fuck you. We're done. And I unplugged, right? And then we made up again, kind of, sort of. He came to me, and Marcus, bless his heart, always tries to like be the mediator. And even Marcus is like, I'm done. I can't be the mediator. If Scott doesn't want to do Live on 3 anymore, we're not doing it, right? And so this last time we kind of get onto it, it's basically how his new political mantra and his Overwatchness, right? Like, even for Slasher, in my mind, he's kind of lost his fucking mind, right? And so
he's never the guy he is now. That's what's wrong,
and so I'm not gonna like re-plug in and be buddies with him. And they do want to do Live on 3 again. I have no desire to do it. I have no desire to do that show for a lot of reasons. But with that cast, I wouldn't do it again. Like, and I don't dislike Rod. I don't wish any ill will on Rod, but I have no desire to like be his mate or be involved in shit.
I think what you got to remember is like Rod was always
he never did what he did to, and he never did what he did to me to what he has done to you guys too. That like this is a different level, right?
But like Rod was always in that kind of weird like ultra leftist journalist clique.
He was actually in the famous
he was in the famous
Game Pros
the Game Journal Pros group,
which Gamergate came from basically.
And I'm not wading into any of that.
I don't blame you, Doug.
That shit didn't fuck with me, didn't touch me, you know what I mean?
At the time when he was in that, he was like a guy of Faz, and I just didn't say anything there. So actually everyone just thought, I naively thought he was just doing it to be cynical and get to know everyone, have networking, but it's not that crazy, I guess you're right, Richard, if you think back and track it back and what
but what happened was like when esports turned its back on him, and when people like Scott and Marcus and everyone else, like the only people that were literally chucking him a lifeline, and like I say, it was like a blues song. He lost his job, he lost his friends, everyone was ridiculing him in the industry. His fucking dog died. He got divorced. Like, the only people chucking him a fucking lifeline was the fucking, the great ship SJW, and they were throwing it out like, come along, man, here's the lifeline. It's like, what you don't realize is at the time, it's actually better to drown than grab hold of that rubber ring. So yeah, I mean, I understand why he's a little bit vocal now, but what I saw glimpses of in this interview was almost like a willingness to walk back, and an understanding, which is what I understand, that we need to fucking hold the line for as long as we can in esports, because all the old school guys, we're all getting pushed out eventually. It's just a matter of when, and the longer we resist the urge, dare I use that word, the longer we resist the hashtag resistance, the longer we resist the change, the better, because it's coming. The big corporate change, the big
Well,
push.
they're already here, man.
Yeah, exactly. But we're all getting pushed out. Like, it's coming. I believe it. And I think Rod recognized that. So, you know, that's the redemption arc for me. The fact that, and he has actually on a couple of occasions gone to bat for you publicly, Duncan, which doesn't excuse any of the other shit he's done, but it at least show it's like fucking Vader, isn't it? There's still something of the old Rod in there. It's just it rarely manifests itself.
Yeah, and I didn't see your interview, so I don't know, you know, what he clarified, what he defined. You know, I have no idea in that sense, right? So
The thing is, what Scoots is saying there, though, is two quick points I would make. Is one is the worst part about this heel turn is that actually I would have said back before OnGamers died, probably the thing I actually respected the most about him, probably the thing that stopped me in the past when he was annoying, just jettisoning him, was he was one of the only people early on in esports who actually understood what you're describing, which is the idea that actually even if we dislike each other personally, we have to have like business relationships, professional relationships, because we're all going to be within the same space. We're all representing esports. We're all going to have to like work with each other potentially. And that's actually one of the reasons many, many years ago, I thought, right, actually, I kind of came over the years to realize, yeah, there's logic to that. So the idea that the same person then would be the one trying to gatekeep who can have jobs, and literally, as I say, if it's half a dozen people, and I haven't even asked people, God knows how many people it is, just going around the industry personally messing people, asking them to fire me, get rid of me, like how can you work with this person, putting pressure on them. That's the exact opposite of what this person represented. And so kind of like Scoot says, I just hit a point eventually where I was like, I'm just done with this person. Like there's only so many times they can do this sort of shit. So like it's not that, you know, like I hate the person or I've got some like revenge plan. No, they don't exist anymore, and we're moving on. And crucially, because he had that type of behavior where once he realized I wasn't going to talk to him, his approach was like a kid having a tantrum. He's just upped the stakes and kept upping them because he hopes to get a reaction. Yeah. And so if the only solution here is to ignore the person, that's just what we're going to have to do then, isn't it?
Well, listen, man, I think that's very mature. You're taking the high road. I think, you know, I hope it maintains that way. I mean, like, I think, honestly, I think Rod does have an awareness now that it's like, I don't see him pulling any more shit like that again. But yeah, I mean, the damage is done by this point, right?
Like, put it this way, here's the most obvious thing to say. It's like, if he actually had any kind of remorse, well, then you wouldn't need to know that I would somehow accept an apology. You would publicly apologize, since publicly that's where you lied about the person. So why would the apology have to come with the person agreeing to like you? That doesn't sound like an apology. That sounds like a negotiation.
True. Well, you know,
like when I apologized to Luminosity for making that off-color joke, right? If they'd have then said "fuck you," I wouldn't have gone, actually, I don't apologize. Then it's like, no, the point is the apology stands no matter what, doesn't it?
Yeah, true.
You do because you know you did something wrong.
Yeah. But fix your fucking lag. What? Why is glitched?
I don't think we need to probably talk about Slasher that much more.
You're not lagging.
We want to, but like what I point out is
he
goes through all this.
In the game, it's in the game chat.
He goes all through all this, and I don't know when you recorded your interview, but he then either outs a bunch of Twitch people again, one of the issues I've always had with Rod. And this has always been one of our wedges, is he comes from this wannabe. I don't want to say wannabe like he's a wannabe, but he has this sports journalist, and you do too in some regards. You all do, cap on. And years ago, like again, the classic thing is the EG leak thing in StarCraft, where Alex lost his mind and banned him. Right. I felt the same way. Like I supported Alex's reasoning. I'm not as verbose or as ponderous as Alex ever. But point being, yes, in a perfect world, if someone leaks the Mets' new signing, it's not a big deal. It happens all the time in sports. But in that age of esports, and even fucking now, there's lots of money lost when that leak happens, right? And you can't be part of the family of building esports and then go, well, just cover your leaks. I got to report. You don't have to report that we're signing a player. If you were, and you all kind of wanted to be like, we're just like sports, but like sports doesn't make $250,000 on signing Huck from their sponsor bonus because of the content you're creating. And you all know esports, and you can't lock that shit down. So, and Rod never grasped the business damage he was doing to esports because he thought he was a sports reporter. And that always bummed me out. Not maybe mad, made Alex mad, but bummed me out. I'm like, you don't get it, bro. I'm your friend. I'm explaining to you as an owner of this fucking team how these things are still weird for us in compared to sports. How we make our money is different than sports, and you're fucking it up. Why do you think we do these 5-day things where we put a silhouette up and guess who the player is? Because it drives ad revenue to our webpage that still matters. Like, and he never got that we weren't sports yet, right? And I get the pure journalistic side. And then again, 2 weeks ago, he outs the director of marketing of Twitch being laid off, who is not a big name. He's not a sports guy. Rod writes for no publication. He has no byline anywhere. He has no skin in that game. He tweets. And he outs this motherfucker before the guy does. Come on, man. He outed them. He outed all those guys. Justin Wong. He outed Adam Contini. Like, and those aren't sports.
Well,
those aren't sports fucking signings. So you can't even fall. I'm ranting, and I'm not meaning to be ranting because I'm mad. But I'm passionate, and this has always bugged me about him. Right? He didn't know when to hold back. Anyway. He didn't know when to hold back, right? And for the greater good, if you will. To your point, Richard, there's a greater good that we need to worry about, I guess, right? Because he wanted to be the scoop guy, and there's a time and a place to be the TMZ guy in sports and in esports, but you are fucking with business here, not just leaking. And it was and that always kind of his lack of understanding of the business he was reporting on always, and he still has it because he thinks Overwatch is going to be a huge successciul thing. He doesn't even grasp
when he needs it to be.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
when you
rant over.
Yeah, I think when you say like
I wish you no ill will, Rod. I wish you the best in love and do whatever you need to do in life. But
just get the fuck out of my industry.
Well, yeah, he's not getting
all
paid
the times we could have used that.
Yeah, but I think when you say like that's a tough one, isn't it? When a guy gets fucking laid off and it's not public knowledge yet. I agree with you. I think if you're like some guy in the background, it's probably better to let them have their dignity and make the announcement themselves. I think if it was like, okay, if I had inside info that Bobby Kotick had been fired by Activision Blizzard before anyone else, I run that story. A guy who's worked 8 years doing PR in the background for them, probably not so much. And it's about knowing where that line is.
Yeah, and again, even if he was paid to chase stories and write it up and put it somewhere, that would be one thing. But he reports on his Twitter feed. And again, I'm not saying that's not journalistic and you can't use that as a new forum, but it's not the same as if he chases the story, writes it up, more budget cuts, go here for the link. And it's like, it would make sense if someone was paying him to write that kind of journalism and chase those stories. But he's doing it to stay relevant, to say I got to it. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it.
Would you say the clout?
Yeah, the clout, Twitter clout.
But like, it seems to backfire, right? And if the funny thing about it is, if you roll back like 10 plus years to a QuakeCon or something where me and Wheat and all of us are hanging out, and you say, hey, what's the biggest problem with Rod? Because Rod's always late to stuff. Like, the very first time I met Rod was at a CPL where we were doing our first Goffrag broadcast. We did Counter-Strike and we did Quake, and he was one of our Quake guys, and he was late because he was chatting with a girl over in the press area, and I literally ran over and I said, I'm not sure who the fuck you are, but I think you're Slasher, and you need to get on my fucking stage. Like, the very first time I met him, I yelled at him. He's like, I'm posting, because he was posting content. And I'm putting content on the side. I'm like, you're fucking late, dude. We told you an hour ago. And then he runs over and does his Quake shit, right? So it's all, Rod and I have always been like little stupid younger brother, older guy, whatever, right? So it's just like, if you would have asked me, I would have said then, he's his own worst enemy. And he still is. That's what I would say to him. Rod, you're your own worst enemy still. The shit you do, it backfires, and whether you don't think it through or whatever, but man, you're just your own worst enemy, bro. You know? And I got tired of and again, like, this shit goes back years of these little things, and I just got tired of it. And again, some friends, like, you burn through that fire with them, whatever it happens to be, and they are your friends for life. But Rod and I were never like that. Like Marcus and Rod are mates, right? That's a different relationship. And maybe if I was that kind of friend with him, like, it wouldn't have, these would just wouldn't have been bumping the road. But like, again, I wish him no ill will. I don't negatively tweet him. There was a time where we all threw shit at him, right? That when he was on camera and shit. But I don't give, like, to Duncan's point, I don't give a fuck anymore. You do whatever you're gonna do. You're not even gonna fucking affect me.
All right, so here's
here's
something that's gonna blow your mind, guys. All right, I gotta get your take on this. Everybody.
Somebody else. If you tell me someone else's mother's died, I am quitting.
No, it ain't that. It's there's a competitive ruling by Riot Games, okay, and they have they have sanctioned rocks the Russian team, because in a game against Vive Victus, who they were heavy favorites to beat, they banned 5 support champions in the pick ban process. And in the ruling, it says, although it is not technically against the rules, both Riot Games and the broader League of Legends community took this as a sign of disrespect towards the Vive Victus esports team. And they have cited that it falls under Rule 10.2.4, discrimination and denigration. Team members may not offend the dignity or integrity of a country, private person, or group of people through contemptuous, discriminatory, or denigrating words or actions on account of race, skin color, ethnic, national, or social origin, gender, language, political opinion, or any other opinion, financial status, birth, or any other status, sexual orientation, or any other reason. So basically, them banning 5 support players in the pick ban process is being likened to a hate crime. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Doesn't say anything on there about skill. Like, what if I just thought they weren't as good, so I've banned 5 supports?
Yeah, that's what they're doing, right? That is
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
that is
How
why
is
they're
that
doing.
a
They're
hate
saying
crime? It's like
they're
dog shit
they're
in the
trash
game.
talking. They're trash talking via their picks.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Help me out. I don't follow that scene. Is that an LCS? LEC team? LEL?
It's the Russian league,
It's the
which is
Russian
like
league.
separate. It's a smaller one.
Okay, but okay, interesting. I'm wondering.
The thing
if,
I'm confused about, right? Because here's the
Player
thing: when you
Association
were
covers
saying
that.
that, my actual assumption was that it must be similar to.
Oh,
what
I
was
didn't
done
realize
in
that.
Korea.
Apparently, they're saying that
An
Vive
all-female
Victus is
team.
an all-female team.
Right. So the joke is that all the girls.
so it's a hate crime because it's a gender.
Right.
Oh,
Right, I see the joke.
That
But
does
wait,
add another spin to it, yeah.
Can I use the word gender? Is it a?
Yeah,
You
gender.
know the obvious joke there, by the way.
Thanks, Rich.
It's
But
that
I'd-
Riot have just revealed themselves as incredibly sexist. Why would you assume support champions are what girls play?
Yeah, exactly.
What a
That's what I was.
disgusting
That's exactly
precedent
where I was going
from
with it.
Riot.
You're literally assuming that's what they're
By the
saying.
way,
It's like-
I'm just going to go ahead and say this anyway. Like, I'm not going to live in a world where I pretend like all my own life experiences are invalid and didn't happen. Like, the sheer amount of girls I've seen who played League of Legends, who played those champions and main support, is unbelievable. Like, I would have to gaslight my own reality to claim it didn't happen.
Is this on LAN? Are they in a studio or something?
Yeah, the Russian league, I believe.
Yeah,
was
the
in
Russian
studio.
league's played on land, just like here. So, pretty insane, right?
Yeah, if they had a player association, they would get involved in something like that. Maybe I don't know.
you should consult for that.
Like,
I mean, they
It's-
even like
it's a
even though
different
it's not in
thing.
the rules, we're gonna take this rule. And
yeah. First
make
of all, if it's not in your rules, go fuck yourself.
don't say that.
Yeah.
You're gonna apply a rule.
Second of all, like if they were in the game and they were like fucking deliberately drawing out the game, or like like constantly taunting
like truly
them.
BM'd in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, like they were clearly crossing a threshold where they weren't trying to win or weren't playing. That's fine. I'd have no issue with it. But like in the pick ban phase, you ban fucking 5 supports. I mean, come on, like.
Now I take it they played the match and then got ruled. Like who won, or did they stop the match?
No, the
So
match
you
was
can't-
played, and I think Rox won. So,
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
so that's
So it was
insane.
an effective strategy as well.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, because like if
really-
it happened like with a guy team, right? Like it wouldn't even be an issue. Like that's I think that if you.
Well, you say that, but
somebody came up-
Duncan will be better at remembering this. But wasn't there a drama over the Team Dignitas dancing in the near the fountain towards the end
Yeah,
of
there's
the
a
game?
few things like that happened, and then there was actually a similar one along these lines that happened in Korea, where what happened was there was a team that was like it was their last game, I think, and they were definitely going to go out, and they couldn't have made it through in the Korean league. So what they decided to do was, since they were playing like one of the best teams in Korea at the time, I think it was like the birthday of one of the very famous commentators called Cloud Templar, who used to be a player, who was a
Yeah,
jungler.
that's correct,
So
yes.
what they did was they just picked 5 jungle champions because they knew the game didn't mean anything, and just played with 5 jungle champions and lost in record time or whatever. And they literally not only got punished, they were banned from LCK. All the players who did that.
For like unsportsmanlike conduct, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
some bullshit like that. Yeah, again, even though logic, like let's think about how utterly ridiculous and absurd the premise is. In a game in which you can literally select these characters, you are not allowed to select the character based on a Riot person reading your mind and deciding what your intention was, which you never stated. Like, how far are we going to go with this concept?
Well,
next, we're going to say that, like, you know, if you do like bunny hopping in the game, you're making some sort of a statement about rabbits. You know, like that's at the level we're at now.
To be fair, I do remember Mark Merrill saying that he had finally finished constructing Cerebro, and that was going to be their, like, you know, next fucking thing. He was just going to be in the chair. They're probably on some shit like that. They probably
I mean,
trying
I
to
could see
develop
like BM in game being like something that you don't really want to have happen, but I just meant specifically the pick bans. Like, if
Oh,
it was
I mean,
an
that's
all-male team and they
ridiculous.
BM'd him with just the pick bans.
There's bound to be an equivalent in Dota. There's bound to be an equivalent in Dota that no one's even batted a fucking eyelid at.
I'm surprised that they just don't. I'm surprised they haven't already defined like a sportsmanship rule that they would have used instead that was vague enough. You know, you must try. You know, blah blah blah. Give it your best.
Well, that'll be there.
They
But
would
at the same
lean on
time, how
that
could you
one.
ever prove that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I find you guilty of not trying as hard.
Yeah,
as
it still
On what
comes down to
metrics?
these are pickable in your game, so
Of
why
course,
can't I pick
exactly.
them? Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Even if you had a rule like that, if they just played out the game, right? Like, just say it was the bans and they just played out the game normally and they won, then it doesn't.
And
like,
you could
what are
say
gonna
we tried, we won, didn't we? So what's the
that's
problem
what-
here?
yeah.
It's not like we threw, because throwing would be
Yeah, it
if
seems
they
a bit
picked
extreme,
shitty
per
to
usual.
lose, that would be the problem, right? In that sense. If
See,
you're
all
throwing-
the folk watching this stream, right? All the folk watching right now who complain about Valve being hands off in the game, you don't know you're born, because this is the alternative.
Yeah, I mentioned it. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
want
exactly.
I'd like a little bit more love, maybe in some aspects.
By the way, have you watched this clip where Vince did a shout out to the
Oh,
despicable thing? for
yeah, it
Game
was
Fight?
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
That was fire.
Despicable entry frags.
it's good, mate. We fucking say what you will about by the numbers. It might just be two fucking jaded old esports fucks just talking about whatever the fuck we want, but you know, it's had some positive impact. I say all the time.
Vince loves scat. Despicable.
Oh, did I also? You weren't here for this, Duncan. They also banned the word Vincel from the ESL chat.
No way.
ESL Twitch.
That's not even a word.
I know.
Like
They banned Vincels, man.
I know. How far are we
Even when
going?
Vince commentated the fucking tournament, but those are his subs. What do you mean?
Oh, the Vincels, mate. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, good lord. But yeah, that was a nice little bit of
Everyone's
commentary.
posting you as a rat. We're gonna have to get rid of your emojis.
The only thing is, though, even though you are hyping the idea, Dust, that this could be like the end, the problem is it is a CT-sided map. Like, Astralis should
Listen, we
logically
have to
still
hold
win.
on to some.
I know what you mean. You have to give some sort of a
I
lifeline.
was saying, Duster's learnt the art of the narrative, my friend. He's there, like he's building it up.
I mean, to be fair, you know,
You can always build it up.
if that's
by
the
way.
weapon being used against you, you got to get competent with it. So
It's
yeah, good
true.
on you.
Yeah, absolutely. See, Dust, rare show of support from Duncan there. And devices, man.
Oh well, yeah, there we go. That's the end of that then.
Bye.
Sorry, guys.
So about that esports celebrity deathmatch stuff we were talking about.
So I reckon that Renegade's good. Nope, my mistake. Understandable. Have a nice day. And see.
That was pretty fucking brutal, man. Keep telling you, it's all about the neck, dude.
Tell. I
The more
mean,
neck you
That
have,
is
the
what
better the
Sean
player.
used to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to say, "Why do you keep him around? He's not even that good." It's all about
the
that
neck.
bloody neck.
I'm actually going to see Rod in April, by the way. If you're in the New York area, please feel free to go to the ESI Esports Forum
Oh,
Day.
Oh
God.
yeah, you know as
Somewhere
well.
in Tribeca.
That's also the part about that interview that like his
He's
tone
thinking.
was ridiculous in as much as like remember
I
this
didn't
is
think
someone who publicly implies he hates me, like I'm a terrible person, I shouldn't be allowed in esports, I should be kicked out, constantly privately getting third-party people to message me and try to be my friend, including probably the more like here's the thing, since he said all this stuff privately, I should probably just out this publicly, mate. Like there was a mental scenario that happened when I went to ESL New York, where the first year I went for ESL New York, right, I didn't go to the after party because it was one of those ones where I was just way too tired. It was like a 2-day
Yeah.
event. It was like non-stop games. And when I'm at like the airport, I can't remember if it was the airport or like in the after the after party or something. I saw a bunch of the casters who'd gone there, and they go, "Oh, that Slasher guy was asking after you at the after party." I'm like, "Okay," and then I go, "Do you know him?" Like, and then I think it was like Henry or someone. They go like, "Nah," and then I won't say the particular circumstances, but they said something which you could call a type of attention-seeking behavior, which would necessitate why I would need to contact this person, right? Which you can guess if you're in this call what that might be, but I'm not going to say it publicly.
Yeah.
And so I go, yeah, don't worry about that. Like, he's already tried that before. Like, just ignore it. Like, I don't know why he's doing this. The next year comes along. This is when he's already done tweets like, I should be fired or blah, 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 whatever. The next year comes along, and I'm walking past the press room to go to the green room to watch the game. And Slasher comes out and goes like, "Hey, Duncan. And I just think, right, I'm not doing this. So I just walk away. I don't say anything. I just keep walking. And so because he can't walk down this corridor because there's a security guard, he's literally just screaming down this corridor like, "So you're not going to talk to me? You can't do this. You think you can just walk away from me?" And then literally maybe a month later, Richard, was when he did all those tweets like that, I should be fired, like I'm a terrible person. It's like, here's the question, the obvious one. Why are you trying to be friends with a terrible person so desperately?
It's wild, isn't it, man? That's just full on, like...
Isn't that pathetic?
Just picture the episode of Alan Partridge. Dan! He can't hear me.
And have you noticed it's the same? It's always the same fucking trend, which is it's always the people who have the skeletons who are like have some mad like death by cop drive to make you out the secrets that they have. I don't know why they do it. I mean, I would assume it's just that any attention is better than no attention, right? It's got to be that, as far as I can tell.
I was just trying to plug the next live event I'll be at in April. Yes, New York. Didn't mean to start this all again.
No, I actually forgot that detail. But how outrageous is that? Like, just shows what a two-faced piece of shit that guy is.
Well, I tried. For once, Richard Lewis was the peacemaker.
And scene.
And I have failed in that role. I'm like Kofi Annan. Lots of attempts. Not so much
Well, the funny
success.
thing is, Richard, you were actually the person who basically broke that thing I said was brilliant about Slasher, where he used to try and be like networking with everyone, because the person that made him change his mind on that was you when you were potentially going to join On Gamers. That's the moment where he took the turn of like, I will gatekeep keep people's careers, and it's real. That was like the moment he just turned evil, sort of.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to know that I've contributed so much.
Oh yeah.
You know how it goes, Duncan, if you live long enough.
Before that he seemed like a good guy, Richard, but you broke him.
Yeah,
so.
I broke him, mate.
Well done.
He was full Kathy Griffin, he was.
Yeah,
Per usual, we can just blame Richard.
I can pretty much draw the parallel to that time frame, sure.
Like, guys complaining about the camera, by the way, it's the guys, the spectator observer keeps dropping from the server, so there's nothing I can do about it. Unless you want me to manually try and do it.
It's been happening so much this tournament.
Yes,
I wonder
I'd
what's
like you
going
to
on.
manually...
Yeah, it's really weird, actually.
That does something.
Can you become DJ Sapphire for
And
us?
people spamming that
Combine
rat
your
in the
powers.
chat. That is an unofficial rat. That is not a Vince-sanctioned rat.
Yeah, that's
This
bullshit.
is like a knockoff
You want
ordered
like
from
pasta,
China
give Vince
rat.
Yeah.
Whoa, what's wrong with it being ordered from China?
Because they make
Yeah,
all the
whoa,
knockoff
whoa,
gear, don't they?
whoa. Well, do they? I don't know.
Yeah, they do. That's where you get all
It
the
was the
knockoff
original.
things.
They
China,
make
that'd be
lots
fine.
of great
What's
genuine products.
Duncan
as well.
will notice. What's the name of that website where you get them sneakers from? It's like it's like an
there's
auction
two.
and you bid for them.
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
There's a few
Is that
others.
what
No,
you
but
mean?
no, like there's one where it's like an auction, like a
StockX.
stock exchange. That's it.
Oh, right.
Just got it.
HK.
Well, anyway, loads of people were flooding with fake fucking Chinese sneakers and wrecking this virtual sneaker stock market as a result of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thing is, I love that shit. Like, back in the day, I found this site where you could just order like any hockey jersey for like $20, and they'd even, because they were just making them, they'd just make you like an old classic one. It was fucking amazing. Obviously, the actual material wasn't like the best quality, but I don't give a fuck.
Mate,
Listen, mate, I had, like,
if you went there,
classic-
just while you don't smoke, or you'd have been dead. It would have gone up like fucking
course.
Piper Alpha.
Yeah,
There's a
lucky you
reference.
don't smoke.
That's a mad fucking 80s reference that no one gets. You remember Piper Alpha, don't you, Duncan?
What was that from?
That oil rig that just fucking exploded
Oh, right.
off the coast of the North
I
Sea.
didn't know
or
that was the name
something.
of it, but yeah, I remember the story you're talking about.
Whatever.
Like event,
With your
Event
boy.
Horizon.
Yeah, with your boy. Yeah, there you go. Duke Zippy knows the oil rig. There you go. There you go. We've got some people in the chat that know about oil rig explosions.
Well, thank God.
I know just as well. That joke would have fell totally flat, wouldn't it? Didn't, of
How
course.
many? I bet you might have somebody who's on an oil rig right now watching you. If you're on an oil rig right now, go ahead and let us know who you are. Give us
Mate, Gandolfini,
give us
the
a one in chat. One in chat if you're on an oil rig.
Gandolfini,
Scoot, that's fucked up.
Gandolfini, the CS player,
Look,
was he was one of them. What do they call him? Is it the Roughnecks or whatever?
James, like.
look at they're all on goddamn oil
Would
rig.
you
I
look
don't
at
know.
that?
Let me
The whole
just
chat's on
contact
oil
Sean
rig.
and ask him.
Who
That
would've thought?
explains why they're complaining about
Dude,
lag all the
what he
time.
was
Then the
doing.
cunts.
Yeah. They definitely support the petroleum industry. I didn't know you were a big oil, Rich. Jeez, man. Wow. All right. Fair enough. Man.
An oil rig only stream.
AS oil rig. That'd be nice. Speaking of oil rig, where's VIP mode, you bastards? Chernobyl. You got a guy in Chernobyl. That's good. He's safe. Stay inside.
Like
Depending
that.
what building you're on, maybe get outside as quick as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, don't stay there.
Why shouldn't you wear Russian underpants? Cause Chernobyl fallout.
Fun.
I think that's a great one.
Shows
That's a
nightly.
classic. All right, fuck you all, then.
That sounds like a
Good
really
thing,
whack excuse a Russian politician used when he exposed himself to someone. I was wearing those bloody Russian underpants, wasn't I? What can I do? My bloody knobs falling out on it. I hate it when that happens.
Chat like, funny, please.
As if someone's really triggered by that joke. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god. Please go to the zone.
Probably guy in
The
an oil rig,
Twilight Zone,
man.
of course.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I am talking about Stalker. Caller. Pre-Appiato, however the fuck you say it.
Oh, ants. Could be a 6-0 lead here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's going on? Where's my sideline reporter? Eric? Give me a score on...
Fuck, what? I was asleep.
I think he turned it off.
Like 5-0.
You gave up on Ants, didn't you?
6-0.
Oh,
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
easy
Map
for
3.
Ants? Oh, I turned that shit off and they started
Yeah,
winning,
see?
so I'm not looking at it again.
Ants is
too
up
bad luck.
6-0 on
6-0.
over.
I've been watching Renegades give me slight hope and then just piss it all away.
It's like Duncan said. It's Nuke.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Astralis. It's CT. It's
Yeah, I started
GG.
right when it started. I mean, the chances of them actually winning this are very slim, but still.
I mean, put it this way: if you lose the T pistol round, you end the T half with 6 rounds. You're not going. Tell you what, guys, we've bloody thrown this game. Probably over. Just don't even try on CT half. There's no way we could possibly win.
Right, I've been told to check my donations. Let's see what's happened here.
Another $500, bro. Easy.
It's possible. The people
You're
have been
buying
mega
me a drink?
generous today. Fucking overwhelmed.
Eric's
some
favorite
sort
drink
of
is
like,
Soylent.
Did
He
Did
likes
someone give you
Soylent.
$500?
Yeah,
Bon
$500
called Fl0m.
donation.
You do like one of those donation like thermometers with your goal being filled in, you know, that teases people to give you.
Oh shit!
You're not doing this right.
$100 donation from Jerky's Minion saying
There he is.
get all
See?
the
We're talking
G
about
Infinity
you.
Angels a drink. I'll be sure to
Yeah.
do that. It's unfortunately over the years like one of those
Bastard.
behind the music like what was it? Fucking,
Whatever happened.
Yeah. One of those behind the music documentaries. It turns out Scoots, Duncan, and me, we all secretly hate each other. We just keep it together for the.
Yeah, exactly.
The money.
So sorry I didn't notice that, Jerky. I might have been out of the room when that came through.
What you
Coming
should
together
do
for
is
the
you
next
should
album.
have, like Scoot says, you should have the whole thing where it builds up to a threshold, and it's like every time we hit $1,000 donation, we do a half an hour uninterrupted analysis of the game. It's like a power play. It only lasts half an hour, and then after that, it's like back to the
Back to the
Well, you
band.
guys, listen.
And do you remember
As soon as
that
guys
time,
get
that
another
rod?
grand in here, exactly. As soon as you guys get another grand in here, maybe then we'll talk about the game.
Yeah.
Until then, do you remember all that stuff from about 10 years before anyone in this chat
Yeah.
ever cared about
One
it?
time I was at a CPL, and those motherfuckers. Let's talk about them for a second, shall we?
You remember that guy off camera who no one even knew at the time? Let's talk about him in depth for 20 minutes. And every minor altercation we've had over the ensuing decade.
This guy Funk. Have you heard the guys? Have you heard Funk story of Funk?
That's the thing, though. I honestly think people enjoy that fucking stuff more, honestly, because we all mad
In a
trigger
way.
ourselves from shit from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's no wonder we never get to the good place, do we? We're always just there,
Yeah.
like still stewing on this shit. I know I am. Like,
Of course.
yeah. What else is there? I'm like fucking what's he called? Jimmy Domedy from Boardwalk Empire. Like I never came back from the war. I'm still in my mind. I'm still over there, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jimmy, man. What a boy. What a boy.
It's where they haven't even had a single sniff at a chance in this fucking game.
No,
They
man.
had
It's
They had a
ridiculous.
chance the last round. I don't know how they didn't clear Magician ramp. He was just blind, sitting in a corner, and nobody saw him.
Oh, hello. Sounds like breakfast.
Nice.
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 Nah, it's
Give
just
a
not
comment
very-
over this. I'm right next to the door.
It's because I think also the worst thing about playing Astralis on this map is like it's not even a map where you really can do any like crazy shit on the fly. So as soon as you realize all your defaults don't work, you just give up hope. You're like, there's nothing I can fucking do. And if anything, you just go even slower.
Yeah.
No,
And the thing
or
is-
the patented rush upper.
Yeah.
The thing is, Astralis
Never
is
gets
so
old,
good on
does it?
either half that no matter what you did in the first half, you just know that no matter what side Astralis is about to switch to, they can bring it right back.
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of chicken.
You know, fried chicken and waffles. With syrup.
I
Nice.
don't know if I can handle chicken tendies in the morning, but what else we talking?
Richard's a good boyfriend, Sam.
Eggs, bacon,
You're
hash
very lucky.
browns. That sounds good. I'll take that, man. I still got to give you this hand job for it, like Rich.
Well, nothing's free in life, son.
Right, I'm gonna
Get to work,
unchain
Sam.
one of your hands so you can eat. Don't make me regret this. I'll bring out the blackjack again.
You do this the easy way.
And we can do this the fun way.
Glazed strawberries, like as if you food that they've lost you sugar-covered fruit.
Where's changed you all?
with extra sugar?
I don't even know who you guys are anymore.
We're just discussing this food.
Where's my crepe?
Sam, do you guys even make food? Or you just Uber Eats all the time like I do?
Let's say a solid 95%. I do some occasional steaks.
Thought you were a
if
wicked cook, Sam. That's what
I
you said
am, but I'm also a
today.
lazy.
Thing is, Richard
fat
actually has like
bastard.
a full
okay.
kitchen and everything. Like he could do it if he wanted, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a nice kitchen. He's got his strawberries. There we go. You all right?
There we go.
There we go.
Didn't want you being upset all day because you didn't get you sugar-covered fruit.
That's actually depressing. Look at the scoreboard now. Like the actual frags for Renegades are fine. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, they're not like playing terribly. It's just Astralis
Nah, man.
new.
That's also the thing about Astralis that people don't realize, though. It's not even just that, like, you have your worst game ever when you play them. It's just that they win all the rounds. As in, like, you can get kills on them, you can have chances, but they somehow still win the rounds. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They're like just really scrappy, honestly.
That's
like,
why there's actually a bunch
every
of
round.
those finals, if you go back last year, look. They don't blow people off the server every time. Like, there's a whole bunch of times they're just winning, like, narrowly, but they just consistently win.
Well, it kept happening with Liquid, like where Liquid would get to 14 rounds, and it was like you hit the enrage timer on Astralis, where like they'd get to 14 and just they flipped a switch and they just climbed right back into the game and then won, either in overtime or 16-14. I feel like I saw that narrative play out 3 or 4 different times with Astralis Liquid.
Well, so much for that then, lads. At least we've got a third map, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
think
Make it any easier though. It's fucking Inferno next. GG.
I mean, what map do you want to play Astralis on?
Yeah, if anything, that,
Train. Overpass. Like,
like I
there's
agree,
something
they
out there.
shouldn't win, but actually Renegades, at least they can play that map, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Somebody, the only thing Sam bakes.
Look at
is
that.
himself.
JKS literally had more kills than everyone except one player on Astralis, and he lost 9-6
I
in
think
quite
he
a
got the
convincing
first
loss.
round entry every round, or for 4 rounds in a row on device. He just kept going lower and killing device instantly. I think it happened 3 or 4 rounds.
Big's making a comeback. Well, no, 7-3. They were making.
How long do they roughly last between maps when they do the desk?
I think it's like
10 or
5
15.
minutes. Like 5 minutes they start getting back in the server, and then like it's like 10 minutes is usually when it goes live.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, they're pretty quick.
Oh, apparently ESL actually posted the stats on the breaks in between games, so it'll be 12 to 13 minutes.
Gotcha. Sir Scoots, who would you want to come back to the esports industry that left?
Specifically esports, but are still around kind of in the industry. That's kind of like, you know what I mean? Because there's people that are still very much involved with like Twitch and stuff, but they don't deal with
Yeah,
esports.
sure. Yeah, like I would say I wish Marcus did, DJ We did more esports stuff, but his job doesn't really do that anymore.
The obvious examples like the old casters, isn't it?
Yeah, like if someone like who truly like left and is gone forever and not doing anything in gaming that came back, who would that be? Let's see. Thankfully, a lot of the cool people are back in one way or another.
I tell you a weird one, Scoots is. I noticed he's still around, but he only does like streaming now. Something is, Warwich is actually vaguely around, but you don't. I think he's just not involved in esports. So he had a fucking brilliant voice. I always thought that guy should have been way bigger.
Yeah, Warwick. He actually lives here in Phoenix, somewhere. I think. Yeah, and he's just streaming again. And but even before that,
because I've always said this,
entirely.
like I know, like people don't realize, like commentators. It's like when commentators is like having a female friend who initially, they look all right, but then like the most time you spend around them, get to know them better, their best qualities, like then they look really good looking. It's like that's what commentators are like, because everyone always says that their favorite commentator has an amazing voice. But like, I'm just going to go ahead and say to everyone, if you're not from the UK, here's a little secret for you. Like Joe Miller and Red Eye and D-Man do not have amazing voices. Like they would never be hired with those voices to do like radio, as in for their voice. Like they might if they had the skills, etc. They don't have like some awesome voice in the UK. That's actually like their accents are kind of not even what you typically want. They don't have particularly like a London accent. They don't have anywhere close to the received English style of the BBC. So whenever people used to always say about casters like them, like, oh, they have the perfect voice for esports. Like they don't. But actually, someone like Warwich had a fucking amazing voice for that.
Yeah,
like,
he was great.
Like if he'd have actually been around when there was like a big game now, and he had like the cachet to cast it, what a sick voice he would have. Like, he's the sort of person who could do like a sport if he was given a chance.
He's like literally got a voiceover voice.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it always was.
Which
really
makes
good,
everything
like,
everything sound cooler.
Yeah, for sure. Like he's like the kind of guy that like you're like, are you talking to the game show voice right now? But he's not. It's just his voice, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
that perfect kind of like. And yeah, I think he's a pretty successful streamer for the games he does too, as far as I know. So yeah, who would I want back? I mean, I'm actually really excited because like Alex.
You would have said Garfield, right?
I would have said Garfield probably, and he's kind of coming back. And I would have said, if you would have asked me, I would have said BDS from SK. And it just so happens they're coming back together, which is kind of funny. Because I've always wished BDS would now come back, that there was money and success, because I always liked him as a team owner and a content creating website guy, et cetera, et cetera. I just always thought he was very genuine. So guys like that, and so although they're not really coming back per se to esports, I think part of what they're doing is esports related, but it's really a much different, bigger set of projects. Than they're not really coming back to esports per se. Who from back in the day?
You ever listen to Jimmy Wisenhunt cast, Scoots?
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
I love Jimmy's voice. I mean,
I'm not taking the question that way, because to me, Jimmy's still around, right? Because Jimmy works in Twitch. But I'm trying to think of like people that I really thought were good and inspiring that just bailed the scene. Jimmy just got a job and finally got paid to do something instead of like, volunteering.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But he was good. He was a good caster. There's no doubt.
I was watching like a frag movie, and it was like
him and
all
Corey
of
done
Jimmy's
casting together.
voice. It was so good. I loved it.
That was the first casting duo I ever heard together, which got me into the idea of doing casting. Was listening to Jimmy and Dunn do ESCA lands.
Yeah, and Tosspot, but like to me, Tosspot's back already. So like he's now announced or been announced that he's at IMG. He's running. This is cool. Like I now would I want Stewart to like get his shit together and be a caster again? Sure, but like, does he want to make like $500,000 less a year probably or whatever he gets paid? Our boy Stewart is vice president at Endeavor, and Endeavor is WME IMG. He's the vice president of esports, so he got a big.
Yeah, I heard that's a really small company actually.
Yeah, a small indie agency.
Yeah,
small indie agency.
Up and coming.
So I'm sure he will be directing budgets towards. Well, I think a lot of the Endeavor stuff. I think Endeavor does a lot of the Fortnite stuff already, actually. But so he'll be having some esports influence with his budgeting and stuff. But he's not going to be casting matches again. But it's cool to see him have that kind of success. If you're not familiar, WME IMG is like the largest or second largest agency on the planet, either before or after CAA.
They own the UFC. Enough said.
They bought the UFC. Yeah, they're not called Endeavor. They used to be WME.
That's pretty good.
Partners, half owners of the E League product with
Yes.
Turner Sports, obviously, and a bunch of other stuff. Had a bunch of Yahoos, kind of running their esports, so to speak, with Mr. Sherman. They're all now gone. And Stewart and gang. Trance, also a huge guy. Trance, if you don't know who he is, huge guy in Twitch Europe. A lot more behind the scenes than in front of the scenes, I guess. He left. He's joined Stewart to be there as well. He announced that a couple weeks ago to run esports for that project for Europe. So it should be cool to see what they do with millions in dollars in budgets, because they're a pretty small company, as Eric pointed out. Yeah, Trance from the Too Good Studio. Exactly. Good guy. Really good guy. Good guy you want to party with. Actually, is that last time I saw you, Duncan? It was. Stockholm. We all went
Yeah,
raging.
the Metro Awards.
Yeah, the Metro Awards, and then we went to that fucking like castle nightclub or whatever till the morning.
That was a bit weird.
That was a bit weird. Good times. Anyway.
The thing is, there's actually like almost nothing. Is there anything in esports happens in your area? It seems like your area is like a dead spot in the map now.
Yeah, Arizona doesn't. We have this there's an old law in the books that supposedly is not really enforced, but it scared people away for years. In that they deemed this esports thing, or playing a video game for money, as a form of gambling. So it's
Right, that's
and
weird.
so it's. And before that, it was kind of it's either a game of skill or a game of chance. They've said it's a game of chance, so therefore it's gambling. And so you don't see really anyone rolling through. I remember years ago, like when MLG was, independent and doing all their Halo circuit and then StarCraft. I would always ask Adam, I'm like, why don't you go to Phoenix? It's like the 6th largest city in the country, huge convention center, lots of hotels around it, great off-season rates for hotel. It's a tourist town. Like there's tons of tourist shit here. And he's like, we can't register a team from the state of Nevada or state of Arizona because of this weird law, and we can't come there. And so they just avoided it, and so everybody kind of avoids it. It's slowly changing, it sounds like.
So wait a minute. Earlier on, you said that Adam Contini's not working with MLG anymore.
Well, no, Adam, you're confusing Adam Apicella with Adam Contini.
Oh, right. That's why I forgot.
Yeah,
you're right. actually.
But Adam Contini used to work for MLG too, as well,
Yes,
before he went to
yeah.
Twitch. But yeah, no, Apicella.
I wondered why that one. That confused me on that.
Yeah. Don't bring it back to Rod, man. You're just trying to bring it back to Rod.
I just forgot. I've realised I was so confused in my mind the Twitch layoffs and the
What other
Activision
things,
Blizzard
Scott?
layoffs, didn't I?
Maybe you don't know. And this one time at Bandcamp. Yeah. Who else? Like, unfortunately, most of the people I can think of back to those days of esports, I'm glad haven't come back. Right? That like a lot of the people are still
It
here.
filtered out a lot of the shit. people
Yeah,
do.
like Angel Munoz, hope he comes back. Scott Valencia, hope he comes back. Ted Owens from GGL, hope he. No.
Please, no.
None of those guys. So, thankfully, a lot of guys just shifted. And
I would say
found
it's
different
more
work.
like this: to actually pick someone that you'd want, they're not. It's not really they come back to esports. It's more just like they become an on-camera personality again. You know, most of them do work in esports. They just have a desk job somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think myself. Almost everyone I can think of just does have a job. It's just
They're here, but
the
just
fan
doing
wouldn't
something
know.
else,
Yeah.
right?
Because obviously, like for example, if you say like Midway works for ESL, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Trevor still works for ESL now. Yeah. Craig works for ESL, so these guys are still around. Torble.
A lot of the old CS names still like usually in some capacity work for ESL as well, like the K Sharps of the world and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, Moto. I wish Moto had
that's
figured
not
out
a
a
bad
way to
shout.
stay in esports because I thought he was a great ambassador. He spoke well.
Sure.
And
Probably one of the
That's
best
a name I
on
haven't
camera
heard
figures.
forever.
David was always ahead of, like, he was one of our first faces, you know, on CNN and shit like that all those years ago. I always liked him. I always thought he was a good, solid kid. Not a kid anymore.
Yeah, like Paradox used to work at Steel Series. I think he still does. And then like you got like some of the players, you know, Rambo obviously I think is coaching C9 now.
Yeah, he's around. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see how like the old CS players are still in some capacity also just like lurking.
Seal Pup asks, how did EG work in Phoenix then? We didn't compete here. Like, Duncan's question is, why is there no, like, why do tournament organizers not come to Phoenix? Why is there no big events here, even though we have all the facilities? But EG, like, we lived here. They lived in a house here, and we did content out of my house, like video and stuff. But they didn't compete locally. Like, there were, and so what's happening now? The few events there's some fighting game stuff, because fighting games have always been big in this community. It's a big city. So there are some that have attached themselves to casinos to use their space, but also just in case. It's not necessarily for that, but just in case the government said, hey, you can't throw this kind of event, they're at least attached to a place that has a gambling license. But yeah, I mean, again, we have big fucking venues, and hotels of all shapes and sizes right close to them. So it's all.
I didn't realize Phoenix was the 6th largest city, to be
yeah,
honest.
now it was several years ago. Maybe it's 7th now, but it's huge. You know, if you took away your gambling, we're like the same fucking. We look the same, we smell the same. Vegas and Phoenix are built by the same fucking housing developers. Like, it's very similar. We're just much bigger and more spread out, but same kind of it's not Phoenix. Phoenix is Chandler and Mesa, and Tempe is where ASU is. So it's all these. It's like LA is not just Los Angeles, right? It's all these things jammed right up to each other. So Phoenix is bigger than
the metro of it, metropolitan area.
Yeah. I wish there was more here. I think it'll come eventually, because there's a couple guys that have reached out to the legislature here that want to do stuff here, and basically the legislature is like, it's not really something the law is like, if you just apply for the license, you'll get it. Like, it won't be applied that way. So I think maybe people got scared away and maybe didn't do. I'm not saying Adam didn't, but maybe now, if people did their due diligence and asked the government of Phoenix or the county or whoever they get the license from, the city, that law might not be affixed to the idea of esports, right? So maybe no one's trying.
It's also a lot easier.
Well, I think the angle you'd take on that would almost certainly be you would get some like local partner that you were going to work with, and you'd try and sell it on the angle to like the senator or something of like, hey, you know, this is going to create jobs in the area, and it'll go to another state if they don't.
Yeah.
That would be the angle you'd probably take if you wanted to get actual political pressure put on them.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, I was speaking at a conference last year, and it was sports and esports. It was put on by ASU, and ASU is a big fucking college, right? Arizona State. And so it was it was sports people there, really, from traditional sports and college sports. And and they kind of brought it up. It's like, you guys keep talking about how big this damn thing is, but why don't we see anything here? And ASU had done a Fiesta Bowl thing with Overwatch, but it was more of like a show match. It wasn't really what we're talking about, like an IEM rolling in. And I brought it up. I go, well, there's this kind of rule that you all need to start talking to your legislator about. And it was like general production companies and general companies in Phoenix that were like, we need, like, venue people. We need to pursue this because this is money we're leaving on the table to other cities, right? I mean, the exact opposite of like Katowice, where this event is happening right now, gives away probably more than any other city when it comes to embracing esports. Like, they do all they can to help these events.
Of course,
right?
that's the reason the event's basically there in the first place.
Yeah, and it helps. Like, it saves ESL probably millions of dollars overall in having help with local infrastructure and advertising and all that. So, like, to your point, that's who was in this meeting. These were like not esports people; they were like city people. Like, wait, we're leaving tourist revenue on the table. What are y'all talking about? You know, so that's who makes change, right? That's who will get with these legislators and go. You know, it's not going to be ESL who doesn't come here. It's going to be people that live here and need ESL to come here, so to speak, right? So yeah, we'll see. Because we have all the venues here, all the hotels, all everything. So
Yeah, I definitely got pretty lucky. I like just moved here when all the Vegas stuff just kind of started popping off. I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is convenient.
Yeah, and your shit
That's
might be
the year
blowing
that
up a
did,
little too
like-
much. Like, I don't know if there's
Yeah.
enough to go around.
I'm not honestly a fan of the esports arena, but that's just
Yeah, never been, so I can't. I mean, I know the
I'm just
vibe.
not a fan of the idea of like it as a whole, where like it's cool to stage events at, but what are you doing with that space? Like the 7 day or like the 5 other days out of the week, right? Like they hold an event over the weekend. Okay, now you just have this empty space for that's like essentially a local LAN center in the middle of the strip.
Oh,
That-
don't worry. There's a lot of people in America, especially, who are in about 5 years are going to be absolutely wrecked because they built arenas for esports because they were promised that it would make their whole, business pop off real quick.
Well, I know, and it's kind of the same thing with Overwatch League, right? That's why I don't like it, is because it's
Well,
gonna
it's
be
all part of this gold rush. Yeah, it all
Yeah.
falls into the same metrics that are. not
and you guys
necessarily
are
gonna pay
know
for it.
way better than I do, just like what that does and the repercussions it can have.
The craziest thing that people don't understand is we actually, if you go back, you'd probably have to go back like 5 years now or something. We had actually hit the point where most of these companies could have been run as real businesses trying to make a profit and done very well and still had a pretty cool esports scene. But then because it got started to get that, everyone was like, right, let's just scale this whole thing to the
funding,
absolute nth degree and potentially destroy the entire thing in the journey of doing so,
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I wanted to quote so much like Lester Banks, like all his shit about rock and roll, man. They will ruin because it's such a delicate thing, and again, I think a lot of them are ruining their own thing. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Like anyone who wants to see how truly bad the esports industry is in that sense, it's a very famous thing in the industry. But just go on LinkedIn, make a LinkedIn account, and look at the things that are about esports on LinkedIn, and you will realize. Forget what you've seen publicly. Like every day, there are people literally getting drawn in by the equivalent of like a Nigerian money scam, but in esports. There's people just getting wrecked by that all day long. Like it's insane how many of those people there are.
Yeah, again, it's just this crazy new gold rush, and sure, there's new valuation, and there is business here, but like these numbers are just they're not.
Yeah, the discrepancy in between
not
who's doing
accurate.
it right and who's doing it poorly is just like the gap is huge.
Yeah, and again, we're already seeing the corrections. Teams are doing layoffs, dropping players, dropping staffs, and yeah, it's just. All I could say is we should have not sold EG when we did, because we could have got a lot more money.
Unfortunately,
if we would have been this side of the bubble, man. If we would have
You didn't get enough fuck you money, Scoots?
I got
Esports
pretty
modes are
good
basically
fuck you
like-
money. I think. I mean,
They're basically like Bitcoin before it burst.
It's all relative, right?
Obviously, everyone thought they shouldn't have sold before, like I'm sure when it was at 1,000, they were like, "Oh fuck, I should have stayed." 5,000, oh, I should have stayed. It's like, problem is, you don't want to be the guy who's like, "I could have sold."
well, yeah,
that,
I mean, we would
Exactly.
never have, and because this is long before, like we sold years before.
That's why the mad thing people don't realize is think about how absolutely egregious like the Renegades ban is in the context now of how much teams can.
Oh yeah.
But now it could be worth 10 times more.
Well, I remember when me and Monty were hanging out pre, the esports when we were having that drink, and it was weird because we hadn't really talked about the whole Renegades thing, and obviously I played an instrumental part in all of that, and he was just like, it's all right, but you did cost me millions, and I've never really sat down and had a drink with somebody that a story's done that to. It's one thing if you're a player who gets banned, like it's one, but. Like it pretty much fucked up the whole sale process. They had to, they had to sell cheap, because
You have no leverage, do you?
Yeah,
That's not
exactly,
what they know you
yeah.
have to sell.
and not just have to sell. Riot insisted on by a set time.
I mean, but obviously all that's not your fault. That side stuff like that. I mean, Riot made all that stuff happen.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, again, I like with the story that I broke and everything, and the whole Badawi stuff. Like Riot were looking for an excuse, and I could have preemptively, contextually understood. I was just kind of so shocked by what I'd seen from Chris Badawi that it's like it was the one time, like in the movie where two enemies team up against a bigger enemy. Like we've got to go after him, man. And it's like it was like that scene, like Brother Muzone and Omar in the fucking Wire. I'm Brother Muzone.
Fucking Wire, bro.
But yeah, it's kind of fucked up the more I think about it, because, you know, Monty, for a large part, was pretty much a bystander in that whole fucking process.
Yeah, that's probably one of those ones you're judged by the actions of who you're with versus what you do yourself, or who you're associated with.
Yeah, you see, you say I'm Omar, but Omar got clipped in the back by a little kid. But massive spoilers, ruined the wire for you.
Oh, no.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Series has been out long enough, guys. Fuck your spoiler rules.
Yeah.
It's the most entitled shit on the internet.
I mean,
whoa.
I mean, Omar himself would say it's all in the game, man, you know? So there
Exactly.
you go.
Spoiler culture
Educate
is...
yourself.
Spoiler culture is the most entitled load of shit I think I've ever seen come out of the internet. Where it's like, right, I'm not talking about the day a movie comes out, but like 10 years later after the fact. Like, it's almost 15 years The Wire's been out, right? And people will literally say...
It's like a staple.
I just started watching that yesterday.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, mate.
The wildest has to be the League of Legends subreddit.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I think they only just actually removed this. I think they actually... No, I don't think they even removed it entirely now, but I think they were like softened the ruling. But if anyone doesn't know, on the League of Legends subreddit, there is a 24-hour blackout on spoilers, as in... Say someone won. Think about this. Say someone won the World Championship of League of Legends, and I did an interview called "Interview with the Winner of Worlds." That interview would not be allowed to go on the site.
No, it wouldn't be allowed to go on. No.
That's like how
wild.
That's what happens when you let a mod, a guy who has no relevance in life, literally dictate everything.
With me.
Mental, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah.
And the maddest thing is, they're the sort of idiots where I've noticed this is a general approach with authoritarians, is that they don't ever make the connection themselves between like cause and effect. They think like whatever you do to them is just done for no reason and never has anything to do with what they were doing. So when their traffic was like tanking on that subreddit, it's like, well, I could think of an obvious thing you could do immediately, guys, to help the traffic go up. Would be, you know, fucking hell. It's unreal,
The most
isn't it?
tragic is that fucking Adagio Summoner, right? She's fucking married, right? And what a happy marriage it must be. And back when my initial ban was coming through, I think she spent like Christmas Eve trying to talk to me about how I can get them banned or something. I'm like, go be with your fucking husband, love. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking wild. And then right, she after she got kicked out of the mod team the first time, she tried to create another sub like League Esports or LoL Esports or whatever it is. And she was in a chat, like a Skype group with a load of content creators, like all of the banned ones, I think, from the League of Legends subreddit, going, yeah, we're going to show them. We'll show those mods, the mods who thought I wasn't good enough. We'll make a subreddit bigger and better than theirs. And she used to refer to herself as Goat Mom, right? Because like that's a character from Undertale. No, that's Goat Boy, mate. I wish. No one wants to be Goat Boy. Let me wear you like a feed bag. Anyway,
I thought, wow, I didn't know she was that cool, Rich.
yeah. So anyway, and like I got these leaked Skype logs where every time two content creators were like arguing, she would try and like insert herself into going, "Goat Mom is displeased with your behavior." Like,
no, that sounds like Goat Boy, like Goat Boy is not happy with your marketing or whatever. Like.
You know what that sound is? That's the bell in your stomach that calls Goat Boy to dinner.
Half the shit you guys do with it, like, I can't believe it. It's just fucking wild. You guys need to start screenshotting way more things. Like, you guys already do, but I need, like, permanent logs at all times.
Oh, mate, the saddest thing is, the reason why people will never understand the amount of, like, rule abuse that mods have done on Reddit is because basically, like, Rich is the only person who can do this because he's basically banned and doesn't give a fuck. Like, they built within it their own little trapdoor so they can never get caught, which is that if you expose this stuff on Twitter, you will be 100% banned off Reddit. So it's genius. Like, obviously, they're not obviously gonna, like, let you talk shit about them on Reddit. They just remove that. And now even when you talk about them on a totally unconnected platform, you get banned for that as well.
The Reddit lawsuit's going to be great, Duncan, when I finally do sit down and go ahead with it, like, because it's a slam dunk. First, like, the
amount of slander alone must be unreal, right?
No, so first of all, I mean, there's like the ninth, the Ninth Circuit, you know, fucking judge circuit thing that they got in America has already ruled that you can hold a site accountable for the behavior of volunteer staff. The fact they're not paid, if they're enforcing your TOS or enforcing any rules for your website, they can still be held accountable. Like, you can be held accountable for their actions as a business. So that's already...
also implied by those admin responses that they basically condone their behavior anyway, right?
Yeah, well, in this way it gets super interesting because I got in touch with our legal department several times. Had my I got a lawyer to basically draft me a letter asking for access to my data, which I'm entitled to. I was entitled to it under a subject access request as a UK citizen. Now, as a US resident, I'm entitled to it. Now, with these additional laws, I'm entitled to it.
Yeah,
And they have literally told them, do not give this guy access to any of his data, which is illegal. I mean, they can't.
That should be a big lawsuit then. Like you could
No,
in theory
yeah.
get millions for that.
They
Wait for the 10 cent money to get finally settled, and then
yeah, exactly, when they're 300 million. So they are refusing to give me something I'm legally entitled to, and have done this for a period of over 2 years now. And they basically got I know from internally, their legal department has been told not to engage with me, even though I'm saying this is like the final request. I will get my lawyers involved. They're just refusing to engage because they know they fucked up. Now, I've also got evidence from the Skype logs that Reddit moderators shared my own personal information with Riot employees. I've got that in black and white. Yeah. So, I mean, that's before we get into why you're housing all of this, demonstrable slander about me and stuff. So, it'll be a lot of fucking fun. Like, I'm down for that. I think it's got settlement written all over it, honestly. But I just haven't had time. Like, how the fuck do you get into it?
Yeah, I mean that sounds like something that'll consume your life.
That's
Essentially,
a project for sure.
Yeah,
that's a project.
Put that on the post-it note, Richard. Things to do. Sue Reddit.
But like I've kept all of that evidence from like the fucking like Duncan says, they basically banned me from Reddit because of behavior on Twitter, and they admit that. And I asked them. I've asked them, do you stand by that as your reasons for banning me from the website? Which, by the way, I can argue in court has had a hugely detrimental impact on my career.
Of course.
Like I can even point to specific sponsors that walked away when they found out I was banned from Reddit. So I can even give you a financial amount that it's cost me. And they've literally banned me from Reddit, not for anything in the terms of service, not for anything on their rules, but because of something I did on Twitter, which is linking to specific comments. Apparently you're not. So imagine the fucking hubris if you're a Reddit staff or a Reddit moderator thinking you get to police a completely different platform. Yeah, check please. I think I'll do all right out of that one.
When you take over,
I can't get into
what's
the
the first thing you're gonna do?
Try to refresh, Duncan.
Okay, you gotta refresh it. It should be that.
Yeah, and sometimes the refresh like bugs, so just like if it doesn't do anything, just give it a second, then refresh again.
Yeah, like when I refreshed, it says no live competitive matches found.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's probably a restart. It's been playing up today, mate.
Let's just restart CS basically.
Yeah,
I think so.
And yeah, for people who are asking, I am banned entirely from Reddit. I can never have an account on Reddit. Even when I was at Turner, I did an AMA on the CS:GO subreddit, and we asked if it was okay, and they just said, "Oh, if people are banned, they can create new accounts, provided when they come back, they don't break the rules." We're very lenient like that. Again, I've got this in an email, and then I created my account, did the AMA. And then they said, oh, anyone but him. So to put it in context, the only people that have been permanently banned from Reddit are like pedophiles. I think people who recruit to white supremacist and hate groups. And I think there was a case where somebody was literally going around and people who took money to abuse mod privileges. So I'm in great company there, aren't I? And what did I do? I tweeted about certain users saying stupid things on Twitter. So
I can't get this game to work. It just says like connecting to the CS:GO network.
It happened to me earlier. It just took 5 minutes to like iron itself out. I don't know if this
like your Steam connection's just fucking bone then, I guess.
Bizarre thing is I can see all the friends, but actually wait a minute, I think it just kicked in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It just randomly worked.
Yeah, you probably just had like some weird shit going on with this.
What I'm actually looking forward to, talking about like sort of interesting potential lawsuits involving tech companies, is Twitter haven't ever put a stop to block bots. which for those that don't know, if you're, anybody can create basically a list of people to block, and then and you can upload that. So, I'm on a lot of block lists because, again, I'm supposedly a right-wing, former, Breitbart writer. So
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, of course. So I'm on a lot of block lists. Now, there was a court case against Donald Trump for blocking journalists. And a judge even said that he shouldn't be able to do it because he's a political figure. What I'm interested in for the next step, by putting me on a block bot called Nazi Blockbot, and therefore by implying that I am a Nazi, can I sue the creator of that block bot for the inference that I am a Nazi? And I think somebody is going to test that case probably this year or the year after. And I think that'll be interesting.
The only
You're
thing
just
is
gonna
now.
make millions.
Oh, never mind, actually,
Go.
Found it now.
What were you going to say, then?
No, before it just wasn't even showing the matches.
Oh,
It showed every other match, but it did now. It just again lagged. I'm in now.
Come on, Ernst.
Thanks for the 4-month sub there, Fokker Pace. I agree, Orange Man bad. I am doing a complete 180 on all of my politics, like so many people, so I can make money and be completely immune to any terms of service enforcement whatsoever. Orange Man bad, fuck the wall, abolish ICE. There you go.
Bernie?
All in one go.
Go, Bernie.
Orders, mate.
Are you going to pander for Xander?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right.
Mate, he's not even going to make it there. He's going to get eaten alive by his own party because that's the world we live in, mate. I don't know if he's not looked around like
Bernie
what's going on at the moment, but he hasn't got much of a chance, has he?
Come on, Duncan, don't you want to feel the burn? Come on, Duncan.
Plus, the maddest thing about that is, even if you ignore every other reason why that guy could get wrecked, I can't believe anyone who is a supporter of his could ever come back from him just literally turning and going like, just support Hillary Clinton this election, even though she represents almost none of the things that I was in favour of. In fact, directly against them. But just go ahead and give her your vote,
Mate,
since I'm literally a
No, how cuckolded was that fucking scene, right? Where he literally came out, because obviously all the Bernie bros were all fucking booing Hillary and stuff at the DNC. And he came out and went, oh, now, what we need is a unified party. Burp, burp, burp.
Oh.
Fuck off, Larry David.
And then she was just like, I am the DNC!
Warwick Davis.
He said,
20 minutes.
but Hillary, I surely have won the nomination. And you think this gives you control over me?
Essentially, Bernie Sanders was Jar Jar asking for fucking martial law for Hillary Clinton.
Mr.
Because
Socialist.
remember, you've got to remember, you needed Jar Jar to get it enforced. Even the Emperor couldn't get that through. He had to have Jar Jar Binks propose that, at which point he then, got it done, didn't he?
15-10.
Oh, that's nice. I still like the version of the prequels where Jar Jar was the Sith Lord the entire time.
He was the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, he was the Phantom Menace. Like, why did
It's
that
because
not
what's
actually
mad
happen?
is
Made my day.
it was
Yeah.
such a badly written series that if you ever
Oh,
read
those films
the
are
fan
dreadful.
theory as to why he was, the fan theory makes more sense than Jar Jar's
Yeah.
actual character in the series. Because like a lot of things he could do didn't make any sense.
Yeah, man, like, that actually gave those dreadful prequels a sort of meaning that you could appreciate. But, like, nah, fuck those films. Like, The Last Jedi was god-awful, but it's still better than any of the prequels. Just in terms of filmmaking,
I mean, that
Vince
director
has
is a
done it.
perfect example of someone where if he'd have never said anything, okay, fine. Like, every interview that guy's ever done has just buried him deeper and deeper.
Mate, I hate The Last Jedi, but the prequels are dog shit, guys. Go try and sit through fucking Phantom Menace again. I urge you, go sit down and watch that
I've
fucking
tried
boring.
before.
Yeah, 2 people on a screen, flat shot, no panning, constant dialogue. Hayden Christensen is the worst actor I've ever seen. He is fucking garbage. I don't even know what's wrong with him. Like, it's like he's not even a person. Like, He's a fucking rogue
It's like
AI.
the first AI.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
The first
Wait,
AI
your
actor.
chat's not actually defending the prequels, are they?
Of course they are.
I'm totally
Scoots,
gonna
someone on
change
the
my
I had a couple
defend
people in my
everything.
chat, but I don't know. There's always
I'm
some
gonna have
that
to
like movies.
drastically change their opinion of the chat.
And as I said, it was
Probably
all
the
going
Vincels.
fine with
Probably the
episode
fucking
3
Vincels.
up until that bit. They make Vader and it's all mean and everything. And then it's like, but what about Padme? She's dead, probably. No! It's Kenneth Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Like, get me the fuck out, like. Absolute garbage.
So Ince did win.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
Thank you. Sideline reporter
There's
just
your
Moretta.
yeah, there is your dust score update.
I have
for
basically
the
lost all
hour.
respect for chat. That is true, chat. You are accurate. You called me on it. I've lost all respect for you.
Kill the
I used to think
younglings,
highly
they
of you,
did.
and
Why are you calling
now
them
I'm
fucking
questioning.
younglings? What, are they not kids anymore? What the fuck's wrong with you? Yoda, you fucking creep. Anyway, chicken, right. Yeah. Younglings they are.
Speaking fucking creep.
Yeah, you wait, mate. You wait. It's all coming out, right? It's going to be like the BBC all over again with these fucking Jedi. You'll see. Edgy.
Catholic priest, Jedi. Make the parallels.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, they were all just getting them for that Mace
Allegedly.
Windu.
Allegedly.
Yeah. What was the name of that Jedi who had a bell end for a head? The purple one.
I don't remember, but I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about. He was alright, he was. I liked him. Big fan.
He goes, execute
Can
rule
he-
30.
Look, yeah, Claddy Mundi.
I think it's
Clady.
Kiadi, right?
Yeah, Kiadi Mundi. There you go.
Kiadi.
Kiadi Mundi. Oh, right, I was fucking battered like a few nights back, and I was trying to get to sleep, and I couldn't. And I was like watching, like I just literally clicked on a video and just let it like play through and play through and play through and play through, and it got to some video like the most powerful Jedi Master no one talks about, Kiadi Mundi. It was like some fucking neckbeard doing like this mad narrative, and it was just all footage of this Jedi with a bell end for a head. I was like, what the fuck? Get me the fuck out of this! Like, the fuck is Kiadi Mundi, man? Kiadi Mundi sounds like fucking Vince
Sounds like
Askin.
someone- It sounds like the exotic new signing that
Candy.
like Newcastle's gotten, on loan or something.
Oh yeah.
Candy,
Oh yeah,
candy
we've
mommy.
got fucking Kiadi Mundi coming in.
No, I thought it was like Vince
All right,
asking if he
Vince.
could lend like a fiver. Like, got any money?
Like.
Kiadi Mundi, like.
Oh god.
Poor Vin.
By the way, Big's literally gonna have to qualify through the whole minor again.
Yep.
Easy friends.
They've gone 0-3. It's almost like that Smoothie guy was half decent at the game. Although fair
didn't
play,
think
actually,
Big
Next
was
did pretty well at the
struggling
major.
Device is racking it right now.
Yeah, device is being device. He just doesn't really make mistakes. I thought Big would do fine in like the best of ones, and just would struggle to go through on a best of three.
Yeah,
They
same.
just fucking. Weren't they playing Mirage too for some reason?
Who?
Big. What are the first two matches or maps that they played?
Oh, I don't know. I tapped the fuck out of the big game. It's Dust 2 to begin with, wasn't it?
No, I mean they're two BO1s.
Well, did we even watch them on stream? I think we
Yeah,
watched the
okay,
first.
their
Yeah, I
first
think
two
you were right.
Mirage.
Yeah, I think you were right,
It's like,
Wilmer.
aren't they notorious? I mean, I could be wrong, but I swear Big is like notoriously bad on that map. Maybe it was because they got Zantares that they were like, I don't know.
Just hit us with the stat, man.
Dust,
Hurry up.
Oh, here we
yeah,
go.
Sideline
Do
reporter
something,
Dust.
Dust.
What's their win
Do
rate?
something. Do something.
Ince on Mirage.
Bam.
Yeah,
Big
Big on
on
Mirage.
Mirage.
Isn't it
Yeah,
shit?
it's definitely one of their worst maps for sure.
Like what? You just get one guy.
The weird thing about Big is they're similar to Energy, where they don't really have specialist maps. They kind of just play everything a little bit. They maybe have like one map they don't play, but yeah. And
Stats,
Mirage
please.
was indeed that one map for.
Stats, please.
I love chat again. Chat, we're friends again.
Yeah, we're all friends again, chap. Kiadi Mundi, like.
Great guy.
I have a newfound respect for you, chat. You've really.
But the
you've really turned
prequels
me
are
over.
dog shit and worse
Yeah,
than
And
the
there's
last
been your analysis. for the
Your
whole
movie
stream, yeah.
taste is in your ass still, though. But
I think when I watched
I'm
the
accepting
prequels
that
when
of
I
you
was
now.
younger, I did enjoy them, but it's really hard. Like when I tried to, you just like hold them in a different light, and then when you rewatch them again as you're older, you're just like, Fuck.
There you go, Dust. Grizzly Hagoose in my chat said the win rate on Mirage for Big is only 46%. He's done your job for you. Actually, no, he corrects himself. 43%.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, in this ban format, and when you can get best of ones, why are you playing one of your worst maps?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Twice. Like, it's not like you got like your warning, right? It's like, all right, we're gonna play Mirage. We're good on this map now. We got Xantares.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
shit,
the
we
thing
lost.
about Big, mate. This is the key reason why I've always flamed them since they got big. I like got to be a top team, that is.
Yeah.
Because they were one of those teams where they just can't accept that they're like anything but a world class team. So in their mind, they can play like 6 maps, you know, and say, "No, we play them all. We can do whatever we want." So I guarantee you, that's like someone thinking he's like, "This team doesn't think we can play Mirage." Huh, little do they know, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and they lose, and they're like, yeah, fuck it. We're actually good on this map. It was unlucky. Oh shit, we still lost.
Renegades just running into twice everywhere they go, mate.
I know, this third map's been absolute garble, mate. I keep trying to get into it, but there's nothing happening.
Back to the
problem
prequels
is-
then, I guess.
Yeah, as well. It's more
What about
interesting. than
Solo?
this.
You guys like Solo?
You know what? I haven't
Like,
watched
he
it.
means the spin-off movie, yeah.
I haven't watched it. Yeah.
It's alright.
No, he's not talking about masturbation, Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I thought
why
it was,
I
mean, it's
knew.
all very Disney now. Like, it's like just kind of, you
Yeah.
know where it's going. You still, but if you're into that kind of thing, like if you're diehard Star Wars or just like really love the series as a whole, you still enjoy the movie. I think is a good way to put it.
Problem is, I couldn't
definitely-
watch the movie because they wouldn't cast a woman as the character.
Yeah.
So
which
until they
was
get
bang out of
diverse
order.
enough, I won't be watching.
I agree. I fully support that stance, man.
But
I am
It was
looking
alright.
forward to the new MLK biopic featuring Ashton Kutcher, though. That's very diverse.
Right,
I'm
yo,
happy with that.
Duncan, can you add that to the post-it note, please? Can you update the post-it note? MLK, humor, Ashton Kutcher. Just put that on the post-it note. Keep it on the monitor.
Round 15 of the Astralis game.
Yeah, there you go. There you
That's
go.
what
there you go.
Well done, Sam.
I'm right.
Time out, of course, on the last round of the half. Just take a time out.
Let's be real. You know who wasn't heartwarmed in the Last Jedi when they freed all the animals? It was a good bit.
That was such a ridiculous side plot.
Mate, that entire character was just ass cheeks.
Assy cheeksy. They're great.
It was unreal. You would think that entire character was like a psyop to create racism. That's how bad it was.
It was insane, man.
It was appalling, wasn't it?
No, but it was really bad. Like just the writing. I felt so sorry for her actually because she got fucking wrecked on social
I mean,
media.
there's nothing you could do with that part.
No, exactly. Like, why is it her fault as the actress? You know, that it was. Yeah, that was.
And that's one of those things, by the way, I will never buy that gaslighting. That if I somehow don't like that character, I'm aligned with people who send hatred to the actual real
Oh,
life
yeah, I
person.
know, that
No,
was really-
No, there's no connection whatsoever in that particular example, you know.
But this is what I mean. Like, right. So as somebody that's been attacked by several fandoms, there never seems to be this like delineation. So at the top, you've got you know, you've got actual people giving valid criticism because they don't like something. Then in the middle, you've got the sort of, you know, fanboys that want to like ravenously attack you and blah blah blah. And then beneath that the more unreasonable layer is the people who are like, no, you must like this and everything about it, and even the critics are this middle group. It's like, fuck, man, I'm not like that. I totally sympathize with the fact she got fucking hate for something that wasn't her fault. But equally, she was the worst thing about that movie, or the character was the worst thing about that movie.
Of course.
So
yeah.
what you can and that's saying something.
It's like the implication you can't think that Sonic Fox is a bit of an obnoxious arsehole without being racist somehow.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
know,
connection?
yeah.
There is
Yeah.
none. I mean, it's very obvious what it is. Like, people are, what they are saying, the words they are saying are not to be taken at face value. What they're basically just saying is, I'm going to exploit every dirty trick I can to mean that you can't ever criticize me. That's really just a game, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, of
It's
course.
not really that interesting when you say it like that, is it?
No. Afraid not.
Yeah,
Duncan.
go ahead and add Sonic Fox to the post-it note.
He's definitely
Safe
going to go on.
route.
Yeah, he's definitely. With my experiences with the FGC, that's also another post-it note. Then. But on the flip side, I have enjoyed seeing, and this is we'll deviate from this conversation real soon.
Oh, by the way, though,
for
you know the
Yes.
ultimate irony of that as well, Richard, is if
Yeah.
there's one request I've had more than anything over the last 3
What,
or 4
interview him?
years, no, it's people saying like, "Oh, are you ever going to get into fighting games? Like, you would love the scene, man. It's exactly your sort of shit. Like, you know, people would love you in the fighting game." It's like, well, I've now, thankfully, Richard was the canary in the coal mine for me on that one. So I was never going to do it anyway, Richard, but definitely won't be doing it now.
It's weird because the canary didn't die, but he just came back with his wings pulled off, his eyes burnt out. Yeah, you know.
He's a little shaky.
Yeah, he's felt better.
Not dead yet. Not dead yet.
What I was going to say is, right, and then we're definitely going to move away for Eric's sake. Did you see the reaction to them making another Ghostbusters sequel, and
Yes.
it's going to ignore the Ghostbusters reboot and just be a
Oh,
continuation?
that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, and so there's already articles coming out going, why are the new makers of Ghostbusters pandering to the alt-right? Actually, the female Ghostbusters was an amazing movie, and it's a fucking hell. Like, people are getting triggered. He can't even make another movie after the movie.
Thing I don't understand about that as well is, right, does that sort of gaslighting even work? I've met a lot of people who give, like, you know, just talking points that they read on the internet. I've never met anyone who said that movie was good, though. Never met anyone.
Well, that's where you're wrong, because Netflix Canada did a tweet saying, so much fine, highly horned, sculpted comedy in this movie, and then, like, with all screenshots from the Ghostbusters movie, they're like, it's a long, fucking meandering bunch of fucking improv. That's all it is. It's a shame as well, because they actually had a straight fire cast.
My favourite part about that movie was the way it did the classic move where you know that people don't actually care at all about, like, equality.
Oh,
They just want revenge, which is like, oh, finally, we've got all the women in the movie to reverse the sexism, right? Let's have a male character that we objectify sexually and basically do everything that hasn't even been done in male movies for about 50 years now.
Imagine
The
signing
Thor
up for that.
character, whatever his name, Chris Hemsworth. or
Yeah,
whatever.
Hemsworth, yeah.
Like that, they did exactly the behaviour that we don't even do in normal Hollywood movies now.
No, they just do it in the Hollywood
Which, fair
studios.
enough.
Anyway,
You know the sad thing, of course, by the way, is if they'd have actually had a sense of humour, that would have been funny. If they'd have purposely been doing it for that reason, that would be a funny joke.
yeah, that would have
Obviously,
been.
there was no humour involved in it. So
No, but nothing.
unless
nothing funny about
except for the shit you had to make yourself while watching it, of course.
it. And it did have Jacob Wolf in it, which was good. But anyway, we'll
Here's the thing, though, that was a fire tweet.
yeah, that's one of your best.
I know that. Here's
Top
the thing, I
top
can tell
five
that one,
top five Thorin tweet of all time.
That one did hurt him inside, I can tell. Like, even I felt a bit bad about that. Right before I just tuned back into how funny it was for me.
But that brief moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is this thing I'm feeling? I believe it's empathy, Duncan. I don't like it.
Exactly. And then what I do is I quickly pull out like an emergency flask I have, which inside just contains a log of all the shit anyone's ever said to me on Twitter. And I was like, oh yeah, he did want to talk shit about me on Twitter, right? I feel no compassion whatsoever now. Destroy him. I think destroy him.
Destroy.
Yeah, just like Alex just destroy the child.
Destroy the youngling. Can we just
Oh,
always,
no, Jar Jar.
we have to refer to as many people as younglings as possible now.
But it's if
You
you're trying to
younglings
bring
in chat.
younglings back. Hush, youngling. Oh, my sweet summer youngling.
Know your place, youngling.
Any good games coming up?
After
this one.
Complexity.
Liquid Navi, dude. Liquid Navi, man.
That come back.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
that should be pretty
other
good
ones
then.
enter.
Yeah,
Yeah, then
simple,
Call of Duty
simple
together.
stomping on his old fucking stomping ground. It's going to be good. And I think Liquid are going to win.
Of course.
And it's a BO3.
Bang.
Oh, that's the end of that game then.
Why is Alex Jones doxing Joe Rogan's stepdaughter? Because Alex Jones is mentally ill. He's had a real serious mental break. And is using what's left of his platform before he is completely unpersoned to settle petty vendettas with people who actually haven't even wronged him. It happens quite...
Isn't it just because you think
Rogan
that
actually is the one person
Shit,
who's
is Alex
defended him.
Jones.
What's that?
Are you saying Slasher is Alex Jones?
No. There's a parallel there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nah, just a joke, folks. Alex Jones actually does work.
Fuck.
So, you know, I apologize to Alex Jones for my disgusting inference.
But yeah, dude.
Two more to add to the post-it note. Let's go.
Yeah. Alex Jones is also on the
Jones.
post-it note. Yeah, he's also on the post-it note.
Put that one on the post.
But yeah, it's like you know, he's fucking because he's lost everything. Like his credit score's gone. Like,
well, you know, the irony is, I just realized I hadn't even thought of it when I made that joke. He basically is engaging in the same behavior. Like he's obviously just mad triggered that Joe Rogan won't talk to him anymore, isn't it? So he's just lashing out to try and get his attention now.
Well, it's not. It makes no sense as well. Like out of all the people, you could be running like constant fucking. You know,
no, but I reckon I have an answer for this though, Richard, which is that that actually tends to be the trend. So here's the problem. It's the same reason why people don't come at me directly. Because if you come at me directly, well, I'm obviously just going to tell you to fuck off and I'm not going to listen to your points. But the better move is you try and find someone, could be someone like Scoots, who you know is associated with me in some sense, but you think you might be able to get to and convince, like, oh, well, listen, at the very least, can you just not say, you know, publicly associate with that person? Like, the person they always attack is the moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got shit yesterday. I got shit yesterday for defending you when I actually wasn't at this time defending you.
Yeah, exactly.
I called that lady a liar, basically, but I was defending you.
Because that's the easiest place to put the pressure, isn't it? Is on the person who's actually like reasonable.
Well, you're an asshole. I can't change your opinion, so I'll go after this guy who is more reasonable. Yeah.
Which is actually the dirtier trick, obviously.
Yeah.
Because like,
are you trying to guilt me?
Like
they try to guilt you. Again, I get. And no offense, I've gotten a lot.
Because as far as I can tell, that is the reason.
You guys.
In terms of like the public reason he's given for that, it is that angle of like, well, you know, I know that, you know, you could be fighting the globalists or whatever. It's like, it's not his job to say what you want, is it, mate? Come on, it's unreasonable.
Yeah, like, but I mean, like, people don't realize, because I think, like, obviously a lot of people know about the Sandy Hook lawsuit, but they don't know about the fact that he got sued by several ex-employees. They had obviously the long drawn out divorce and custody lawsuit with his kids, where to basically gain access to his kids, it's now a matter of court record that he is a performance actor. He's like a performance artist. He doesn't...
There is actually a wrinkle to that if you want to know it.
Oh yeah, go on then, sure.
It's because you might be interested in this.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this is what he said, and it actually sounds plausible. Is if supposedly one of the things they did in the lawsuit to try and make him look like he was mentally unhinged as a way to like make sure he wouldn't.
It's if you need to, by the way, but go on.
Well, listen to what they did. So they took a video he'd done for like Halloween or something where he dresses as like Heath Ledger's Joker and he does a whole thing where
yeah, God,
so here's what they did, right? So because they said that this is like, you know, this is what he's like. Look, this is an example of his show. His lawyers said, well, no, in that skit, he was acting. He was playing a character. And what they did is all the news reports just took that quote out of context and said Alex Jones, the lawyer, admits he is an actor. And therefore implied that all the stuff he was doing on camera was fake. And he's like a cynical, kind of like he's just playing up a stereotype, you know.
Ah, that's interesting. I didn't realize there was that subtlety to it. I'm
like,
not
I don't know if
surprised.
I haven't confirmed it, but it sounds plausible, doesn't it? If you think about the way lawyers and media people do things, you know.
But basically, like the barrage of lawsuits, the unpersoning, you know, the fact that, like you say, his credit score's fucked. He can't even get like bank loans or anything anymore. It's probably a matter of time before his bank accounts get shut down. Honestly, he's just lost his fucking marbles, hasn't he? He's just his box has gone even more than it already was to be Alex Jones. And for some reason, just because Joe Rogan said, like, you know, oh, I don't know if I can have him on the show anymore. And then he interviewed Jack Dorsey, who, by the way, Jack Dorsey, I'm not saying I think Jack Dorsey's great, but Jack Dorsey was one of the few tech oligarchs that was actually trying to stand up to this tide of let's all unperson Alex Jones. Remember, he got removed from Apple, everywhere else, you know, all at once. Jack Dorsey said, we're not banning him because he hasn't violated our TOS, and then let somebody below him basically, you know, pretend that he'd violated TOS when he talked to that CNN journalist at those hearings. But yeah, basically, like, he's lost everything, and it's, you know, it's all
which, by the way, would make you get more and more extreme, obviously.
Yeah, and he absolutely is. But that's what I mean. It's like, and why he's decided to make Joe Rogan the fucking focus of this is just absurd.
Well, crazy. I can give you a detail on that one.
Yeah,
no, I can give you a reason why. No, here's the reason why, mate. Because when Joe Rogan said he wouldn't have him on the show, Joe Rogan repeated exactly the media talking points that Alex Jones considers to be a lie. So, for example, like, I'll go ahead and say it right now. I have tried searching on the internet. I've searched everywhere I can. I can't find a single piece of evidence to say that he ever told anyone to go and harass the families of the Sandy Hook victims.
No, he did.
I
Well,
can't find a single piece of evidence.
He
anywhere.
didn't.
It's
He
the
didn't.
same as if someone is a follower of my Twitter and they go and say "fuck you, cunt" to some woman I had an argument with. You're saying, right? Oh, you sent that person. Did I? Did I really do that? What? Just because they follow me? You need more than that to prove that they did it. Come on.
I think the fundamental thing is though, and like this is where I draw the line with it, and this is where I thought the Sandy Hook thing was well over the line, is that okay? You have to. It's about presentation. If Alex Jones is ranting and raving on a fucking radio show, and it's just that, and it's like it's his opinion, and he makes it very clear it's his opinion, then that's fine. Like say what like. Conspiracy theories shouldn't get people sent to jail. There's freedom of speech. You should be able to say these things and speculate. That's like saying the guy who made the fucking Zeitgeist or Loose Change documentary should be in prison right now. But the way that they dress up the whole InfoWars channel, they make it look like a news broadcast. He sat there in front of a video. They use semiology to basically add credence to these crazy bullshit lies that they're saying, and unfortunately there's a percentage of his audience that do take it as a gospel. And when he sat down, and I remember distinctly when he was doing all the Sandy Hook stuff and watching the videos and talking about it, because it's dressed up as news, unfortunately there are some people who are going to be unbelievably unhinged and act upon it as if it's true. And that's where in the same way you would hold a news organization accountable if they ran a fake story, I think he has to be held accountable.
I mean, that's a funny...
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like
I know. Theoretically.
National Enquirer tries to look like a newspaper, and it's not.
Sure.
Right?